Right, we're gonna try. Hopefully, it will work. Yeah, anyone that just joins the chat, let me know. So I'm just trying to get this working. It's been a bit of a pain in the ass, and apologies for the backdrop. If you're coming here, try to get it working. Been a bit of a hassle, but yeah. So if anyone that's been wondering why I've been keeps start streams ending again, because there's been a lot of lag. I don't know why it is. For some reason, StreamYard's been very weird recently. I might have to change the streaming thing because I'm not sure whether else noticed when the stream as well. But there's been a lot of lag on other shows as well. I don't know where it's. I don't know if it's my laptop or anything. I think it's just the bloody server's been very crap recently. But main thing is we're back. You can sort of see me moving now and talking in time now, which is good. So that means we're actually get started on the stream, which should be good. Yeah, I know obviously it's been a bit up and down. Apologies for the delay and that not starting where I wanted to, but we're here. Dodgy, yeah, I know. Dodgy backdrop, but upstairs is like a furnace right now in my room as it is. So doing a stream in that room is not a good idea. And also, I thought, at least I'm doing some sort of content at least, and you guys can actually sort of watch and sort of watch me at least. Give some sort of YouTube reaction, that kind of stuff. But big up, guys. Hope we're all doing good. So it's been another game today, another madness, obviously, in the transfer window, obviously, over the madness. I mean, not in Arsenal, obviously. Arce's obviously it's been quite quiet, very slow on our front, but yeah. But again, I'm not really surprised though, to be honest with you, that it's been quite slow because I think people have been expecting quite a lot, and I understand why. I think considering obviously, it's a new era. Obviously, want to make obviously a big impact, but the way people have been moving on X recently, it's been absolutely crazy. I mean, I would say I can't believe it, but I think actually you can believe it because I mean the way people have just been speaking about certain people, certain individuals and players, you know, and masking his opinions. It's like, oh, guys, man, like just it isn't even the start of the season yet. Like we haven't even got to Arsenal game, Community Shield, and we're just losing our heads already. Crazy, man, crazy. But we'll was against that a little bit. So that's what I'm doing. I mean, this isn't what I'm going to go. Like, people have criticisms, obviously, and rightly so. And fair enough. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and sort of say people can't have opinions. Obviously, of course you can. I mean, I'll be critical as well. But it's just the way people are just reacting, and it's just melting down and just losing their heads, like over just the fact that transfers aren't done yet. Like you do. I mean, what is it actually? Is it? Oh, hold on. It's actually slow on the stream, guys. Like for me right now, it should be fine. But let's obviously let's watch it on stream and see if actually it works or not. It should be fine because again, obviously, let's have a look. No, it should be alright. Should be right now. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, again, if it isn't, obviously let me know. But apologies for having to cancel and start streams again 2 or 3 times over again. It's been a bit of a pain in the ass tonight, but it managed to obviously get it going now, which is really good. But yeah, I mean, Joel, I'll ask you guys first. I mean, regarding the games today, I mean, again, obviously it's a friendly. It's not. I wouldn't say it's something to write home about, something to sort of lose over your heads at. It's it's a friendly. It's without all of our players being there. So even if a win or whatever happens in the game is for me is not a concern at all. It's more about fitness and the players at this point. But I think having watched the game back and sort of and I think because again, obviously the game itself obviously was on about midday this afternoon. So obviously, so obviously for me it was I couldn't actually watch it. So I was at work sadly, but well, I watched it back when I got home. I saw a lot of good signs. I think Miranda's definitely looked a lot better this game than he did in the first game. I thought Svenny was a lot better, and I thought it was a lot more fluid than it was the last game. But again, I was expected that anyway. Big up Steve. Yeah, I'm back. He actually is back this time. I'm actually doing a stream this time, which is good. I missed today's game because of my phone. Well, yeah, same here, mate. Daily job. I can't always watch the game obviously where I want to, sadly. Yeah, Meltdown. I mean, look, I get like criticisms obviously of the goal. I mean, obviously Donnarumma obviously with the goal, but again, it's pre-season. Like, are we seriously losing our heads over this stuff already? And like I'm not sort of sitting here saying you can't criticize or be critical. Of course you can. Like, I'm critical, all the time. So things aren't right, but I do that more in the league games, the actual games that matter, rather than the games like this, where again it doesn't matter if you win or draw or lose it. Like obviously, if you lose it, it's not really ideal, but I do think it's better to sort of just take the positives where you can, obviously, and learn from it, as you go. But again, it's pre-season. It shouldn't, be an issue really. I don't get what everybody's stuff to say. Yeah, it's what I mean. Like, Steve, honestly, I'm baffled by it because, and people say, "Oh, but it's them having standards and that kind of stuff." I'm like, look, I have standards. My standards of City is to just give their all and do your best. It might not be the standards of what people want, but the reality is you can't guarantee to win anything anywhere. Like nothing is certain in football. You have to just, you have to sort of get there in your own way. I just think some people just don't really sort of take it into account. Where is he? He's right. He's been very busy recently. Like I've spoken to him a lot, actually, a lot really. It's not because I don't want to. Again, I've got my stuff going on, so does he. But he's been just doing a lot of stuff, obviously, in personal life, really, with job and that kind of stuff. Again, eventually, but I'm not saying when. Like it's up to him at this point. But to be fair with YouTube, what I will say is it's not just StreamYard. I think YouTube itself is a bit dodgy as well. When it comes to lagging and loading that kind of stuff. So just beware of that. Big up Trev. Some people have allowed their accounts to become a perpetual pity party. Negative content easier to make than originality. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, Trev, I'll be critical and negative if there's reason to be. There's reason. And there's reason to say, you know what, that was awful. We've got to say it as it is, and then we'll do it, and we all will. Like, again, we're not mindless positive seals. Like, I'd rather I'll be positive when there's positive to talk about, but a game like today, where it's a preseason friendly, where either win 7-0 doesn't really matter, then I care more about the games like Bournemouth, where we're actually playing in the Premier League and actually important for our season. Winning or losing today doesn't really matter because again, as long as the players obviously are in there doing the best and getting the fitness on them, so that's all I care about. Also, Trev, if you want to come on, mate, let me know. I'm not sure obviously what time it is, obviously where you are, but if you're around to sort of come on and chat for a bit, let me know, mate. I'll send you the link on X. Football show lagging. I mean, I'm not that bad. Back your team regardless. Exactly. Like I know people hear that and think, oh, what? So it's can't be critical. No, of course you can be. I'm critical. Best of times, but I just don't really care about this kind of game because again, any kind of mistake, I'm like, well, you'd hope that it'd be like it would be, sorted by that point. Like you'd hope by the Bournemouth game, these mistakes will be ironed out. If they're not, then there's an issue, and then we've got to really sort of discuss it. So because it's not me sort of like not wanting to be critical. Of course, I'll be critical. There's a right to be, but it's just it just. I just wish that people just sort of took things into account more and that realized that what, although it's not ideal with these mistakes, remember that the game we're actually watching is not the quality. Again, the humidity as well of the game we're playing it in Seoul as well. It's not the same level of heat, humidity, or the atmosphere that it will be in the Premier League. If it was a Premier League game, different story entirely, and a lot more to discuss there. But because it's like it's a game in South Korea, great country, in a different type of humidity and weather and environment, you have to take that into account. You have to. Trevor, yeah, I mean, yeah, we are, but popular, isn't it? Popular, isn't it, Steve? Come on. But I mean, regarding the game, I thought it was good. Look, I mean, it was against a 11 that I thought we should be in anyway. Like, Inter Milan, I thought we did well. It was a draw. I was lost on penalties. It was still a draw, though, I think, at the end of the day. So it wasn't the end of the world. But I think, it was definitely a positive step, especially going forward. I thought Semenya was very good. I thought Reinders was good. I thought players that sort of came on and did their bit, did very well. It was good to see Jeremy Monga get opportunity. I think it's too early to say who's going to play, who isn't going to play. But I'm definitely, intrigued and interested to see who he chooses, Maresca, for the season here, because there are a few players in that team that definitely are going to be looking to get into that squad this season for sure. Hey, big up Ryan Jack, mate. Good to see you, mate. And loving the profile picture, Shane, by the way, mate. It's very good. Big up to you. And well done as well on going on Martin's Brothers thing that he did, obviously, because I did that, obviously, I did one myself. It's a great show, and I'm pleased you got on there, mate. Big up to you, man. Someone said, Martin, we're not good as we should have podcast players playing to that. For God's sake, bloody hell. The thing is, right, Steve, and when you say this, right, it's like you're slapping everyone in the face. Like, there was always going to be a reset when Pep left. Like, if you weren't expecting that, like, the rebuild for me, right, didn't start last summer. The rebuild started this summer. I know we've got a lot of players and players out, but that was more for the fact that we sort of dropped the ball after treble season. That's not really a rebuild. That's more of a, amending mistakes. For me, a rebuild starts when the manager leaves and a new manager comes in, because even when Pep was there last year and the year before, it's still Pep's style of play. It's still Pep's structure. It's not going to really change much. Like, again, you'll buy new players in for that, sure, but you're not going to see a real rebuild until you actually get to, the rebuilds part of it, you know what I mean? Oh, yeah, I'll send a link, Trev. Don't worry, mate. I'll send a link now, my friend. Bear with me. But yeah, I mean, I said a rebuild for me is something where the manager is new. The players are still the same as they were before, but it just feels a little bit, that I was very acutely aware that as soon as we got a new manager, this is where it would really sort of be a real test. So I'm trying to talk while doing this. It's not always best. Everybody waffling a bit after a bit. Come on. I want X. Let me in. All right, Trev, I have sent you the link on DM, mate. So hopefully that'll come through to you now, my friend. Be honest. But yeah, I know. To be honest, right, I just thought, you know what? Let's just do creative thumbnails. Because you know what I mean? Because the thing is, right, like for me, like with thumbnails, I'm just trying to do something a bit different. Like, rather than just the same. But again, I like the blue font that I use more for the news stuff, but for stuff like this, where it's a bit more fun, a bit more of a chatty stream. So it's something that's what I prefer to do, a bit more of a joke, a bit more of a laugh kind of thing. But rather than sort of do the same old serious stuff all the time. There was, mate. I'll send to you now. No, Luke should be 24 world-class players ready for everything to give. Yeah, it should be. It should be 24 players. Like, it should be Kvaratskhelia, I love that. We'd all have 24 world-class players in the squad. But actually, no, I wouldn't, actually, because if there are 24 players in the squad of world-class, everyone's going to want to play. So how's that going to work? You know what I mean? Exactly, yeah. Like, we bear in mind, we've got one more game to play before the Arsenal game. Like, if he says to me now, right, we'll lose to Atletico Madrid, I'm like, okay. I don't really, personally, I don't really care at all. I don't really, the results for me, either we win like 7 or 8-0, I don't really care. Because the reality is, it's a friendly. How we're going to play now isn't necessarily how we're going to play against Bournemouth and bloody Crystal Palace. I mean, I said before, right, the style of play I like, I actually think it's good. Oh, here we go. Here comes Trev. Let's see if I can. Let's do it quickly. Hey, Trev.
Hiya. You're right.
Yeah.
I fell asleep super early last night. So it's 2:42. I mean, I'm normally up about 4:30 a.m. anyway, because I want to, because I like mornings. But last night after the game, I went for a lie down. I didn't wake up till 2:00.
Yeah, so obviously I was at work, obviously, so I couldn't really. I watched the first half, obviously. On my lunch break, then when I went to work. But I was, to be fair, I saw all the goals. And I was like, great, I saw all the goals, lovely, and then it happened in the second half. Cool.
Well, that's because you went to work, mate. It's your fault.
Yeah, sorry, lads. Well, good thing is, weekend games and weekends. Should be Tom Brook and watch it. So these are happening.
There's a half-time team talk. Luke's not watching now. He's gone to work.
Right, he's off.
All right, chill.
Pack it in. It in. No one cares.
We did a watch along. That was weird.
Yeah, no, I've done them before. To be honest, right, I don't mind them, but I can't do them all the time because it's fine if like I've got nothing else to do, I'll do it.
Right.
But I much prefer either watching the game with people or going to the games myself. It's cool if like again if that's something you like to do, big ups to you. That's something you like to do. I mean, again, it's just that I can't pretend to be reacting to something I like because I won't feel genuine. Like I'm trying to make it up as I go along. Like, oh, that's a good ball. No, I can't. No.
Well, for 2 years now, I've been referring to people who do watch-alongs as chair slappers. That's my nickname for them
Yeah,
because
no.
yeah.
Yeah.
So and it never caught on. No one's ever started calling them chair slappers, but that's my shorthand for them because every one of these United fans react to latest defeat. Someone will slap a chair.
Oh yeah.
Someone will do something because it's all performative. And
Yeah.
it's like they just ramp up the levels of hysteria. Who's the Dublin Liverpool fan?
Oh, Craig, Anfield Agenda. Yeah, Anfield Agenda.
Jesus. And talking about your thumbnails, I'm going to do this thing this season because everybody has to have the same thumbnail, and there is science behind it. I work in the industry, so
Yeah.
everyone's got to have the face at least 35%.
Yeah.
Right, and they all do these preposterous expressions, that
Yeah. 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 Exactly.
right, and it's just a headshot. So I've already made some. I've not posted them yet, and I don't know where I'm going to post them. But it's called chair slappers on the toilet, and so I've just taken the heads, and then
Brilliant.
instead of the banner headline, I've just named the kind of shit that they're having.
Yeah. Honestly,
So it's like
it's true. It is true what you say. It is true because
ring stinger, you know, ring stinger.
ring stinger, bloody. It is true though.
Hang on. This one, sharts.
Bloody hell.
I expect to see those soon because they made me laugh.
I look forward to it. It'd be good to have that. It'd be good to have a bit of comedy in a world full of negativity. That's what I always say.
Yeah.
The thing is, Trevor, I mean, all right. I mean, it's pre-season. People aren't like, it is like I don't really care how they perform. Like, just get the fitness in your legs, and remember, when they're playing, isn't what we'll play anyway in England or Europe. Are playing anyway this season. Again, take it into account. Also playing in really high humidity as well at the time in Korea. It's not what they're going to be used to anyway. I know they've played the World Cup something, but again, American heat compared to Asia's different climate as well. I just
40 degrees is not funny in a moist climate. I know. I live in one.
Yeah.
And 40 degrees ain't funny. I ain't doing a damn thing outside in 40 degrees. Even my dogs, who are Thai dogs, I ain't doing a damn thing in 40 degrees. They're sitting in the aircon, doing nothing.
Yeah, I know. Just no, I just for me like I'm more critical of City when we're actually playing competitive games because at that point, if any mistakes happen, like right, it's a competitive game. Like there's a bit more going on there. But a game like this where everyone's just come back from the World Cup or whatever, right? A lot of these guys who haven't even played for us properly, like obviously Mubama played for us obviously beforehand. Monga obviously is new as well. It was good to see him play a bit as well today from what I saw in the second half. But it's just like I thought I'm not other people. I'm not reacting because it's like we won 3-1. Okay, I mean it's not the result that matters anyway. If we won 5-6-0, been cool. I suppose to have more goals, but it's not really what we're. I'm here more to sort of see the younger players. I mean, the players like Vardio and like Donnarumma, like I know they're good anyway. I know people will say different others about Donnarumma because obviously the whatever the goal, but I guess like it's pre-season. I'm not going to lose my head over stuff like that. Personally, it's just a
The
bit too
thing
much.
is, I said during the watch along, a lot of content creators are going to get an hour of a show out of analysing this game.
Yep.
I know why, because they're supposed to, and I guess they have to. But what actually can you learn from a game like that means anything going into the season? Not very much.
No
And
Anderson,
so, yeah,
no midfielders that were playing. Well, there's Reinders, obviously, but it's not. That's not again Haaland up front. Certain play, maybe Nunez at right back starting. Maybe it's not. Again, people will might say I'm nitpicking, but it's like, but the team he played, like, Diaz in his first game back post World Cup in that heat. There's a lot of factors in play, and like I can't really tell because it's like it was like Palace away, third game of the season. All right, there's a bit more to sort of talk about because you had a bit more games to play. But it's like it's pre-season. If anyone's caring about the result in pre-season, then they really don't know. Like there have been times where we've lost games in previous years and no one's really cared. But it's like I've noticed more and more, Trev. Last 2 or so years, people are starting to overreact a lot more to games like this. Whereas in the past, no
yeah,
one cared. No one cared at all about the results of these games 2 or 3 years ago.
yeah. Rajak makes a good point. It's just something that happened today, so it's fun to talk about, at least for me. You're
Yeah,
right, Rajak. It is fun to talk about, but that's not what I'm seeing. What I'm seeing is another pity party. I haven't watched much of it because I'm just bailing on the first 3 minutes of it, and
yeah,
if you look at the comments, so people are making it a very serious thing, and that isn't necessarily fun,
well,
And I knew that a meltdown would happen. I knew a meltdown would happen if we won 7-0 because it's meltdown season. It's
yeah.
not
It
just
is.
transfer season. So I get what you're saying. And like I said, in my preamble to what I said, was I understand why people do it. They kind of have to, you know. So you're making a good point, and you're right. But what I'm seeing is perhaps an over analysis.
Yeah. I thought Mongo actually was. Do you know what? I thought Mongo was impressive, but again, it's his first cameo playing for us. I'm not going to sit there and like critically analyze what we're doing. It's like these guys, these younger players. Like Mongo's like 17, by the way. They're right 17? Is it? I know he's still very young
Yeah,
still. Isn't he? Like Mongo,
17.
Mongo, Makadu, all these players. I like seeing them play, but I'm not getting carried away because
No.
I know with younger players, and like I said, I've watched Phil come from again. Foden's my age, so I love Foden a lot because again, him and Haaland, the two players that I love most in the squad because they're my age and I rate them a lot more. Foden is someone that I've watched play in this team since 2016. I'll probably say in preseason obviously under Pep and now obviously against Pogba in America on his debut. I remember that game as well. How I played as well. I've watched this guy for almost 10 years, give or take. So I know with younger players, you need to give them time. You can't force Makadu and Monga into this team and say, right, play every game. And like you said before on previous streams, Trevor, other people said it before. Lamine Yamal, not his fault, by the way. Again, he's a very, very talented player, but people have taken the wrong thing out of Yamal. You cannot force these 18-year-olds or something like that to play every game. Their bodies are not developed yet to that point as well because look at Yamal's injuries already. As like the amount of injuries that he's getting now, like hamstring injuries here and there. Like it's like Saka as well for Arsenal. Like these players, they need to be looked after and monitored and cared for. Like they get a lot of money, but they're human beings. The human beings
I,
that
I,
get injuries.
I think you're right, but I also think that what has gilded that argument is Nico O'Reilly,
Yeah,
who came in out of necessity, but has absolutely balled out at that age and looks the part. I mean, what's Nico now? Is he 19?
I think he's 21, isn't he, Jack? And
No,
I know he's.
oh, maybe.
I think. I
Let's have a
think.
look.
I think with him. I remember playing a little bit a year or two ago before he played, but I know with him, it's like I think he's 21 actually. But all because I say he's quite young still. Well, to be fair, he's young, but again, he's not
He
like
is 21. Yeah, I
yeah.
thought he was younger. Hmm.
It's still young. It's still young though. 21. Like it's
Yes.
problem is 21 now sounds older than but back in like 2010, that was young. That was young for a player coming through at that point. So, but again, the game has changed a lot because of these players coming through at 17, 18, like Buardi. who I imagine will come through at some point as well. He's a very talented player, and that's got a lot of ability to be up there with the best. I've watched him as a video, as it was Shirky he did to get like years ago for the. He's a very talented kid. I can see why we're getting him because he's a very talented player, but I'm not expecting Maresca to throw in the deep end. I
Yeah.
expect him to be phased in over the next year or two, and then you start seeing him play alongside maybe Anderson down the line or Rodri. Who knows at this point with Rodri at this point? I mean, I know people say he's going to go, but until we get told he's actually going to go, he's still here technically. So that, I mean, people obviously will hear what they hear. That's what I said before. Hear what you hear, great. But until it happens, it's still open. Still, is what I say.
He is Schrodinger's Rodri.
He is. He is.
It depends on who's looking at him to see.
Exactly.
It depends on who's opened the box, whether he's going or staying. You know.
Is it true, Val, by the way? True. But Messi didn't play a many games as well at that age.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the counter argument to that would be something about sports science, blah 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 blah. You know, players are treated differently and they're brought on much younger. Listen, nobody would like us to have a Lamine Yamal on our hands. You know, I'd love that, but we haven't. You know, they are unicorns. He is unusual for his age. I do get excited about young players, though. Don't get me wrong. I was impressed by Monga yesterday, and I will be positive because it's in my nature. He looked comfortable. He didn't look out of place. He didn't seem overawed. He played confidently. But that's pretty much all you can hope for at this stage. Maybe a goal, and he came close a couple of times. But in 40-degree heat, come on.
Yeah.
Could you be asked doing any? What can you be asked doing in 40-degree heat outside?
Man, 40-degree heat here is a nightmare. In Korea, oh, Jesus. I mean, I haven't been to Asia yet in my life, but I know I will at some point.
Okay. Well, the moisture makes a huge difference. You go outside and you're
I've been told people have gone to Thailand and that. People told me about that. Yeah. So
yeah, and I'm used to it. You know, my sweat glands, whatever, have adapted over the 20-odd years I've been here.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't sweat like a pig, and you know, but still, it's unpleasant. It's weather that happens to you, not around you.
Yeah.
You know, it's oppressive heat. So how anyone could run in it is beyond me.
We're all crashing here at 40. It's just, yeah. I mean, 36 here because during the World Cup it was a bit of a heat wave for about a week here, about 36 degrees. It was so warm because honestly, like you know yourself, obviously in the UK, our humidity is not used to that kind of heat. Like it's used to just being quite cool and warm, but not hot. When it's that hot, it's like it just doesn't work at all over here. Go to Spain or France, it's quite nice and works well. Well, south of France, not north of France, south of France, Spain.
It's dry. It's drier, but here it's just moist, which is my favourite word. I love the word moist.
Moist, yes. But no, I mean, look, regarding the game, for me personally, I don't really do. I did a little reaction to the Inter Milan game, and I just thought I'm not really gonna sit there for an hour dissecting everything about it because we'll have a chat about the game and what we saw from it, and it was good to talk about. But it's more of
there will be a 5 things I learned, and you could probably eke out 5 things you learned, but are they really relevant to what's going to happen when we've got a full squad in the Premier League?
The Arsenal game, I'll care a bit more. Not that much, but a little bit more. Not that much, because it is still Community Shield. If we win it, lose it, I don't really care. But it's still a game I'm like, okay, a bit more competitive than before, worth just looking into. But, you know what I mean? Like, these games are like, I mean, it's not really too much to get into at the moment, is what I think anyway.
Yeah. So when I joined, you were talking about, fans, which is obviously something that animates me. No, it's just something I find fascinating, and there is a difference. There's I wouldn't say it's a split. I just think there are 2 kinds of City fans now, in clear camps.
Yeah.
and there are differences. And anytime you talk about them, then the more recently acquired fans get very defensive, and I don't want them to. What I want there to be is communication both ways,
Yeah.
where they understand the perspective of people who, have always been on this train, you know, and paid for the ticket with pain and misery, and people who have had a free ride on the glory train. And that's not me being disparaging about them, and I don't want them to think that. What I'm trying to get to is a dialogue where you understand the difference. And the more recently acquired fans have to understand that the other fans will look at things differently, will be more patient, not just with players, but will be more patient for success, because for 35 years at Old Trafford, for 35 years we didn't have anything at all. And even worse than that, we went down to the third tier. And our closest derby rivals, United, won everything in that 35-year period over and over again, and
Yeah.
had a banner up at their stadium counting down every year that we didn't win anything. Unless you experience that, you don't even have to be from Manchester to have experienced seeing that every United game that was on the telly. This big banner, the 35 years ticking over, for years. I think it was up for about 11 years.
Yeah.
And that's in your city. That's your derby rivals,
Yeah.
you know. And that changes how you view things. Experiences, Division 3 changes how you view this club. And that's why we are happier
Yeah.
clappers.
True.
That's why we are, yeah, and that is correct, Steve. I worry that we lose that. The
Yeah.
entitlement that I see is what we used to resent most about United fans.
Hmm.
And I see that recently acquired fan base acting like United fans used to act. And I'm, I think it's a losing battle. I'd just like to retain that character that was forged through miserable, you know, games in the rain in places that you normally only go through on the way to somewhere good, and you never get off, or
Yeah.
you never park up at in those places. You know, so I think it's a chaotic task, but they're my favourite kinds. I just want them to get what we know, or some of it, and take that into account
Yeah.
instead of calling us main road wankers and happy clappers. I just want them to understand our reference point.
Hmm.
I doubt I'll get there.
Well, the thing is, Traveller, my era is the Thomas Cook era onwards. So that's so. Even though it's not, again, I've seen obviously it's a success, but I do remember a little bit, being mid-table before we went into the good time
Yeah,
anyway. So I do like the Joes and the Glambert Berties of the world. I do know of them, so
yeah,
I've got a bit of appreciation of certain heroes that I watched and teams and that. And I think for me, that's because I've seen it a lot. I've been on X a lot before the current lot. It sounds a bit rude. I've been on X, Mancini, Pellegrini, Pep. I've kind of seen the tradition of City Twitter into where it
yeah,
is now.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
can appreciate, understand that. Even though I'm like younger myself, I've sort of been on social media a lot to know what to expect from it now.
And I'm not saying the more misery you've seen, the more the no, the more
All the
credible you
misery.
are. It's nothing to do with that. It but I'm just trying to explain to people where our frame of reference is from.
Yeah,
And our frame of reference is where avoiding relegation was a result. In celebrating when you hit the 40-point mark was the highlight of the season, and we used to do that. When we got to 40, that was like a massive thing. We would actively celebrate getting to 40 points
yeah.
because it meant that we probably weren't going down. You
The
know,
thing is, Steve, like as
Squid
well,
Game life. I like that phrase.
right? The thing is, though, Trev, even if we had all the players that everyone thinks we should have,
Yeah.
Football is not as straightforward as people think it is. It's not. It's not a game that you can just go and sort of easily win and get done. It's not like what Pep did in these 10 years, right? When you actually look back on it, I mean, not even now, in another 10 years' time, when I'm 36 and I'm like, I'm own kids of my own, I'm thinking, bloody hell, that actually happened. Like those 10 years. Like, because look, we'll still win stuff. We will. We'll win cups, we'll win leagues, maybe another Champions League in the future, maybe down the line with Maresca. I mean, not this year, I reckon maybe next year or so when we get a bit more of his players into the door. But again, with Enzo, I actually really like what he's doing. I just think that, again, he's doing this with a lot of players that have barely played with Pep, some of them, and we're trying to sort of work it out. He needs that at least a year to bed it in. So as I thought, I think next summer we will see a lot more movement in the squad because that's when he's like, right, I've had a year. I know who needs to go, who needs to stay in. Because
Yeah.
it's his first year. He ain't going to sell off the players that you don't like under Pep. Remember, it's not Pep anymore. Sadly, it's not. It's someone new. And we got to give him the time to work this squad out. Because you can't just force Reinders as like Reinders is out, get rid of him. Like, well, he hasn't had as much chance on the Maresca yet. Let's see what he does on the Maresca. Like, I know Pep's brilliant, but some players do better under different managers. It can happen, and
Bob Paisley won more than Bill Shankly. Very few of you will have heard of Bob Paisley. All of you will know who Bill Shankly is because he was this Pep-like figure. And I interviewed Elton Wellesby on this precise subject. So I think it's not impossible that that Maresca could win more than Pep because there is a precedent. But it's unlikely. Let's put it that way. But everybody said that when Paisley took over, and he won more trophies than the legend that is Bill Shankly, the immortal Bill Shankly.
yeah,
So just bear that in mind. It's happened before where someone as iconic as Pep. It's only happened once. But the thing is, we've got a habit of doing things that have only happened once or have never happened, like 100 points and 100 goals.
yeah.
Our club routinely changed the dynamics of this game. And so, be excited because that might happen again. And to be honest, looking at our rivals, I just don't rate them. I just don't rate any. I'm not afraid of any team in the Premier League, even now. Even if
No,
we don't sign anybody else, they've got no Haaland, they've got no O'Reilly, they've got no Foden, they've got no Gvardiol, they've got no Diaz, they've got no Kusanov, they've got no. I could go on naming our best players. None of them have got that.
no,
You
and
know,
yeah. Because Arsenal, look, Arsenal, don't get me wrong, right? Guimaraes is a great signing. I think he's a great player, Bruno Guimaraes, and I think he'll do well for Arsenal. But the problem is with Arsenal, it's not that them bringing him in a good signing, but Saka is playing on his like a lot of that squad is literally been put into the ground by Arteta,
and
and
Rice.
yeah, Rice. I mean, again, I like Rice. I rate him highly. I think he's a good player. I wouldn't say he's world class. I think he's a very good player. That's not far away from being there. But you can tell he's been put through the mill. Look, for England, he barely played at his levels for us because he was forced to play a lot of games. Look at someone like Saliba. Saliba's back's gone. He's like he had surgery on it. He looks absolutely knackered. Like, whereas with our squad, we've got a lot of players coming through that were barely really using the Pep like Reinders and that, and Marmouche. And I'm not saying that they'll be used more under Maresca, but the squad's been kind of like, it's been used by Pep, but it hasn't really been. A lot of players haven't really been properly put into the way of playing that maybe Enzo wants to do. That's why I'm thinking, let's just relax a bit. Let's just see what it's going to do. Because I thought, even in the first few months, Trev, it won't be the same. It's like, for me, I'm treating the season like 16, 17, the first year of a new era. You've got to give this squad and manager time. We can't be demanding all this stuff because of what happened previously. It's not the same standards. We have to build our way back again. Yeah, we've got this, but thankfully he's got the squad in place where it's like Pep's first team post Pellegrini, where it was an aging squad that needed a bit of a surgery on certain positions. We had De Bruyne, Silva, and Aguero and Yaya and company who were still very good players, but it wasn't a brilliant team. It was lacking some players here and there, needed to be worked on. This is a bit more of a settled team with only a few players you can sort of bring in and bring out. So
Because it's you that's saying it, I know that you're not managing your expectations. I know you've thought about this.
hmm,
You know, some people are saying things like that, but because they're managing their expectations, I'm not. I'm because I'm a happy clapper, so I won't. But I know if that's how you're feeling, it's sincere. This is a great point by Brandon. Arsenal cannot play rugby at corners next season either.
exactly, Brandon.
The
Exactly.
the the rule that's going to impact them most. Now, it's not a new rule. And before last season, people forget, or maybe they weren't paying attention. Before last season, the PGMOL issued an instruction because it started to be a problem the season before last about the barging of goalkeepers, where a player was specifically tasked with hanging around in the box. They'd have somebody on the goalkeeper obstructing. But the other thing that Arsenal did every game is they had one person whose job it was not to go for the ball, was to barge the keeper, was to run from a blind side or from a few yards out and barge the keeper. No intention of getting the ball. It's always been illegal. There's always been a law that says you can't do that. So last season, the PGMOL issued a directive to all refs that they had to stop this, and they didn't. They just ignored the directive, and that's because there's weak leadership at the PGMOL. There's potentially compromised, and certainly weak leadership. Howard Webb does not strike me as a man who can get people to run through walls. And to implement that law, they've just released another directive, a similar directive to the one last season. And they've said, we're really serious now. We really mean it, right? But it's Howard Webb that's saying it. So people will be like, yeah, whatever, you corporate wanker. Your
Yeah.
spreadsheet media trained dickhead. We're the refs. We've got to be on that pitch. And we're the ones who are going to get slaughtered in the media on Talk Sport, who's going to do a day's worth of content out of a decision we make. We're the ones whose families will get slagged off, and refs get a lot of shit.
We
So
do. Yeah.
so it lacks leadership, and the refs themselves lack courage. It's going to take balls to implement it, but if they do, Arsenal fucked. Absolutely fucked. They got no chance.
Well, I've always
I
said,
don't.
right, go on, sorry, go on, sorry.
I don't see them in the top two. They still haven't got a striker. Who's their striker?
Your to me, right? I think he's a good striker, but is he world class? No. He's good, but the problem is with the way Arsenal play, the way Arteta play, it doesn't suit Gyökeres. Whereas how we're playing now under Maresca is going to suit a Haaland because we're playing through the wings now, so we're actually going to get the ball into him a lot more. I'm not saying that as guaranteed, but I think Haaland will have a lot more opportunities to score now because again, with Pep, the wingers didn't play. They played to wings, back, wings, but it wasn't actually a proper wings into the box, like Centurion style. Through the
Right.
wing, up and fullbacks, ball in the box, goal. That's how it was, obviously in Pep's first two or 3 years. But I just think Arsenal don't play that way. They don't play that way at all, Arsenal. And I think
I'm not sure they play away. Without the shithousery, I can't. I watched a lot of them last season because I have my little £1 bets, and I did very well out of betting that Arsenal get beat by 1 goal in April. April especially was excellent,
yeah,
and so I watched a lot of their stuff, and I couldn't tell you how they play. I couldn't tell you what their shape is half the time. It just seems more random and reliant on 2 or 3 players to do a thing that, very luckily for them, they often do. And that's not me being irrationally negative. That's my eye test. I watched full games,
yeah.
and I couldn't say, oh, so that's what they do. No, it's basically trying to con the ref out of giving him a dangerous dead ball situation. See, the other thing, no one, they haven't made a rule about this, But Arsenal players learned how to get a foul by fouling the defender, but going down as they did it. So there was a great example of it, and I think it was one of their players in the World Cup, where he basically wraps his leg around the defender. So he's slightly in front of the defender. Hang on. This hand is the defender. It's all reversed, right?
Yeah,
Fucking hell. Oh, that's my camera tracking. And
yeah,
so the Arsenal player would wrap his leg and
yeah,
then go down
yeah.
as though the defender had brought him down. But in fact, the opposite was true, and nobody was sussing it, or nobody was blowing for it. So there was that. So they'll still be able to get away with that. But this not being able to barge the keeper is absolutely critical. It would have cost them. Someone worked it out. It would have cost them 11 goals last season, and
Yeah.
would have cost them the league by some margin. Maybe they would have finished third. Without that, I don't know what they are. Without the shithousery, who are you?
Yeah, and the thing is, I look at the rest of the league and I think, right, well, Chelsea are in another change as well, obviously with Alonso. Liverpool as well, a new era for them as well, obviously under Iraola. Tottenham, I mean, a lot of players that have joined the club, but again, how they're going to fit, obviously, in the league and how's that going to work? Again, that's not another few that they've brought in. It's a
It
very
ain't
different,
it ain't a team, Spurs. It's a lot of new blood. But
yeah.
that ain't a team. That ain't a way of playing. That ain't a replicable thing for at least a few months into the season. It takes that long to just imprint tactics and a style. You know.
That's true, actually. Yeah, I do know about that. Yeah, with VAR and Arsenal, the amount of times they got away with something that were fouls that weren't given. Like especially against us, how Gabriel wasn't even red carded for that. I don't care if Harden didn't fall down the floor. That headbutt should have been a red card, and it wasn't recorded. So a lot of things that they got away with last year. It's not being salty. Like again, we still didn't do our job against Everton and Bournemouth, and that's our own fault. Like I don't blame VAR for us losing the league. I blame more ourselves because we dropped too many points that we shouldn't have done. That's in like Forest and that, like Forest at home, 2-2, too many games like that where we won maybe the big games, but the games that we used to be really good at in the past, the games that are very important to win, like the Forests and that, and the Villa aways and that, we sort of just kept throwing them away, and that's when you can't. And it doesn't matter how crap after a while, you can't keep getting away with it if you yourself can't get it done. I think last year was very weird to see us in a title race and us to kind of bottle it ourselves. Like it wasn't usually it's the other team throwing it away for us to win the league, but it felt weird being the other way around this time. That's what it felt weird to me but it's quite good because in a way it's character building because those players now know not to do that ever again. You've got to put these games to bed because it's in a title race, Trev. Like you've got to win every those games like Bournemouth and that are very important games to win a league title. Like the fact we've got Bournemouth at home and Palace away our first two games is not easy at all. Like Palace have got a new manager, Bournemouth new manager, but it's a very weird league next year. There's a lot of new managers at different clubs now. It's a very different league next year, Trev. Very
Yeah,
different.
and I don't see that as advantage Arsenal. I just don't, because I don't
No.
think they. This isn't churlishness. This isn't mean spiritedness on my behalf. I just don't rate them. I didn't rate them last season, but they got the job done. You know, but
Yeah, no,
if you look at that Arsenal team compared to Pep's best team, the team that won at Real Madrid, which was the most perfect game of football I've ever seen.
4-0,
It was
yeah.
a, it was football on another level. It was a ballet. It was an opera. It was just perfection. That's what greatness is. You know, compared Arsenal aren't even half that.
No.
You just don't see any rhyme or rhythm to what they do. You can't work out how they're playing just by watching them. Whereas a Pep team, you knew what to expect, and everyone was doing the job. But
Yeah,
with so many times with Arsenal, they won by. Do you know they scored less than a goal a game for 7 weeks, April and May, which
yeah.
is
But
when we should have accelerated, but we didn't.
I'll tell you one player that Arsenal have lost that I think is going to impact them. People will be surprised when I say this. Is Trossard. The amount of times that he got late goals for them, the West
Correct.
Ham game. Now look,
Yeah.
Zoli's the player they've got in from Brugge. I actually do watch him up because Alf in the chat's actually a Brugge fan. He's from Belgium. I do watch a little bit. He's a very talented player. That kid. And he's I think he'll do well there. The problem is that someone like him, he's in a team that's very not that open. I think someone like him will be better at a more open team like a Liverpool, where he would get more opportunities to be that creative and be that kind of winger. Whereas at Arsenal, you're very much regimented and very much have to stick to the plan of parking the bus and getting away with it that way. You know what I mean?
Is that what they do? Evening Martin, by the way, is that what they do? Is that their thing? Are they boring Arsenal? Have they reverted to type?
They have now, like 1-0 to the Arsenal. I mean, it gets you wins, lads, but it doesn't really look good, does it, when you win it?
No, maybe that's who they are then. Maybe that's an institutional kind of. Because I genuinely can't, I genuinely could not work out the amount of games I watched of them. Was like, what are you doing here? Looking for a goal from a free kick or a break, and
Yeah,
there was, yeah, I just didn't get it. And yet some of their players think they've arrived as well. They think they've got the magic number. You know, you look at Declan Rice kneeling down after the cup final we won against them. Kneeling down and doing whatever he was doing, sticking his tongue out like he was
not over,
really.
not over. Well, yeah, I
What was
mean,
that? What was that? Who are you?
I know,
You know,
yeah.
he's high on his own supply, and I think a lot of the Arsenal players might be high on their supply.
Yeah, I just think this season, right? If you're a betting man this season, right, thinking, who do I like? Most teams have new managers now, so it's even Ipswich lost McKenna and got in Gary O'Neill. So Ipswich are starting a new season in the Premier League with a new manager. You got what was it? You got sorry, not West Ham. They're in the Championship now. I forgot they're in the Championship now. West Ham. That's mad.
Oh, oh,
Well, West
that's
Ham
so
Millwall,
sad.
buddy. Yeah, West Ham Millwall in the Championship. Yeah.
But as they once sang to us, West Ham fans, you'll be back, you'll be back, you'll
Oh,
be
they'll be back.
back. Yeah.
This year, well, then again, though, Championship this year is actually quite interesting this year because there's quite a few teams that they're up there fighting for it this year, so that'll be a lot of fun. Coventry and Hull, yeah, I mean, Coventry. To be fair to them, they've bought so far that they're actually spending a bit of money so far. To be fair to them, they're spending a little bit of money on players. I think it's all today that getting that guy from Ghana who's good at the World Cup, so they are trying to sort of improve their team. I just don't know whether they've got enough Coventry because again. Staying up's not easy. I mean, and I mean, Sunderland did the right way. Bought loads of European quality, talented players, and it worked out, and they got Europe out of it. I mean, Leeds as well. I mean, Leeds, what Harry Wilson on the free, which is a great bit of business.
Yeah.
They've got traffic. Like, Leeds are actually building a decent team. They're building a decent. I wasn't saying that will get in Europe, but maybe mid-table again, something like, or maybe push towards mid-table this year. I think.
Leeds should be very much like Newcastle. They're very similar in that in their cities, they're just massive. Now,
Yeah.
you can hate Leeds for all the things that they did as hooligans and so on, which
Signature
I.
Lampard, yeah, go on, Super Freaky Lampard. It's mad
City
though. They
legend,
play for us, by
City
the way.
legend, that's brilliant.
Yeah,
But
it's mad, right? I
but
forget
Leeds
that.
Leeds belong because they were a massive club.
Oh yeah, massive
And
club.
so if you compare them to like a Portsmouth or a Southampton or or a Fulham, I'm not dissing these clubs, but they don't have that stature. They don't have that sort of fan base. A thriving Leeds will sell out their stadium and sell out all their away allocation if they begin to even start top 10, for instance, and consolidate that position. That is a serious club. you know, with the heritage, I don't really think that's worth very much. But you know,
No, but yeah, I think for me, because I'll say I'm going to be doing obviously a Premier prediction of in the week before, obviously play against Bournemouth. Because
brave.
I keep thinking, like, I think who do I go? Because it's like, who do I go with? Because like honestly, right now, I'm like, it's the bottom three. Okay, Hull, Ipswich, Coventry look like it could be. I mean, it sounds harsh, but let's Coventry start off really well and prove everyone wrong, then fair enough. But Hull City for me, I don't know, because like they look very much like they're buying players, but I'm like, is that going to be good enough to stay up? I don't know. Because again, last season, if you looked at the playoff positions, the team that should have got up if they didn't do the cheating thing was Southampton. That's the probably should have got for the playoffs because they were playing so well. Like it was literally us and them. They were unbeaten for like 20 something games in the league. So it should have been them going up in the playoffs. But it obviously was what happened. And Hull City got in there and beat Middlesbrough. So it is weird. I think Hull. I like Hull as a club, but I do like them, especially the a Tigers chant, obviously, and the way they are. I like Hull, I do, but I just feel like, are they in there too early? I feel like is it too? Are they just a bit too early than what it should have been? Like it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because the Prem is so interesting this year. Yeah.
It is interesting. I would love to see Spurs shitting bricks in April again. Just one more season of that, please, please.
If they
I am not full of watching Spurs shit themselves.
If they went down, Trev, if they went down, bloody hell! Oh my god!
Mate, come on.
We were so close, Trev, to win the league, and Tottenham relegated. It was that close, and we just got a bit better in the points that we needed to get. We didn't. So close to greatness, Trev. A treble to end Pep's era off, and turns going down. This close to greatness.
Because I am still salty about 1981. It was my first ever trip to Wembley. You know.
Yep. Yeah.
And as you know, my theory about City fans were held together by pettiness and grudges. That's the glue that binds us. So
well, it's like me and Wigan, Trev. Like Wigan are just the absolute FA Cup final, and every time we play in the cup, they always beat us. It's like a curse now.
Yeah.
I'm not like.
But I was at we got beat. I think it's either Halifax or Huddersfield. I've tried to remove it from my brain, but we got beat 1-0 away to Halifax. I was at school. I would be 15, I guess. And we got absolutely slaughtered the next day at school.
Bet you did, yeah.
You know, the United fans holding up the newspaper as we had in those days, the physical newspaper.
Now,
they couldn't show me any memes. You know, they just held up this huge story.
You were the meme getting laughed at. See, even for me at school, like obviously I was in the era where phones were just coming into it, so I still had the old school way of doing it. But you know, the last generation wanted to sort of have school without the phones being a prominent sort of thing. But like back then, when your team beat a rival, like you ruled it. Like again, in my school, right, it was mostly Arsenal, Liverpool, United fans. It wasn't Southampton. People think that it was. It wasn't. Like most people in my city do not support the local team. It's me and a few other people that I know who supports it. I mean, obviously, Tone isn't far from me himself, so I know Tone supports me. So for me, I was like, why am I being called Glory Hunter when you lot support Liverpool, United, and all that, and have won? At the time, I was like, I won FA Cup. I was like, I'm buzzing with that. I'm taking that because I've never seen it before. Like you're laughing at me. Like so, and when we won in 2012, I was in year 7, and I was laughing at the United fans the next day who were just like, just angry and just like, and you're like, oh, we've won this many, mate. You're telling me you've won that many? I don't bloody care. I've got a bloody Premier League title and Aguero and that. Yeah, that was that. Look, I know obviously for people like yourself who are a bit older than that, you obviously it's a bit different because you didn't sort of see that until 2011 sort of came in. But it's like for someone like myself growing up with that, like I wasn't born with the winning. I sort of saw it as I was growing up. It's my school years, so maybe once I get older, when I have kids, it might be a bit different. But and
What one thing to remember is that getting promoted felt as good as that. Felt as good as not as good as a Premier League, maybe. Certainly felt as good as an FA Cup because there's a redemption arc. There's like,
yeah,
we don't. What are we doing here? We don't belong here. I never want to go to these places again. Not even for shopping. Do you know what I mean? Not even for a
yeah,
walk around the town centre. We just don't ever want to go there again. We had to go there for a game. So um, getting promoted was just orgasmic. It really was. It was a special, special thing. And Steve's mentioned the pink. If you want me to
thing.
tell you what the pink was, maybe your listeners don't know what the pink was.
See, I've heard of it, but it's just like again, it's like you have to remind me again. A lot of the stuff from like back then,
All
my
right.
mum and dad before
So
I met them, yeah. So it's
let me
better.
take you back. So before the internet, right? This is going to blow people's minds, though, right? Before the internet, there was a newspaper that came out called the Pink Final, and they did 4 editions,
That was it. Yeah.
right? And it came out. You could buy it as you walked out of the Kipax,
Yep. Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And they had a special wagon, and every club had this. I think every club had their version of the pink. So they would print it at the ground. So you always ended up with ink, right? And it was only about 8 sheets,
Yeah.
right? But loads of people would buy one, and it would have all the half-time scores. So in one half of football, they've put together this 8 pages, right, with match reports from everywhere. Not huge match reports, but it'd have all the half-time scores in it. You could buy it as you left the ground. I mean, that is mind-boggling, right?
Amazing. Yeah.
That was the internet before the internet, So,
Well, yeah.
and then by the time you got home, about half an hour later, the Pink Final would come out, and that'd have all the results, and it'd be full of typos. The best one ever was Steve McKenzie did score this great goal, screamer, top bins, and it had gone through the copy reader as and Steve McKenzie equalised with the superb shit in the top right hand corner.
Shit! Did you see that? Alan Partridge style. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but it was actually there in print with the superb shit in the top right hand corner. I don't know whether it was the guy's last day at work and he put that one in deliberately,
I love
or
that.
whether it was a genuine typo, but it was a classic. I actually clipped it. It might still be somewhere in the UK. I have a suitcase full of little things like that, and I might still have it. If I've got it, I'll put it up.
Great shit it was too.
Yeah, but it was a great shit. He also scored the greatest ever goal ever scored at Wembley in an FA Cup final, the volley.
Yeah.
Incredible goal.
Yeah. Great goal.
Incredible. Yeah, I loved
Yeah.
it.
No, it's because it's obviously for me, obviously, because again, well, I was born obviously in 2000, obviously, and I was just as like I was free when obviously Main Road was left Main Road, obviously. So a lot
Yeah.
of the grounds that Main Road, like the Dal as well, years ago as well, obviously went. So a lot of the old grounds that Highbury as well was told about, and I was too young to remember them or didn't even get a chance to see them. And
Yeah.
again, and that's not my fault. Just when I was born,
They
it was
weren't they weren't as good. They weren't as good as the nostalgia people will tell you. I don't do a
no,
lot of nostalgia. It's a nice place to visit, but you never want to live in nostalgia. But
yeah,
like the toilets in the Gipax, nobody knew where they started because the piss started at the bottom of the steps, and then you walked across through piss to the concourse, and
yeah,
it I reckon anyone who remembers it, how many lads could stand up and have a piss actually in the urinal? This is the urinal that served the whole Kipax. Maximum 18 lads uncomfortably close to each other at a urinal because it was a long urinal, you know.
yeah,
So about 18 lads could have a piss, and there'd be about 400 lads who needed a piss. So they'd just have a piss on the wall next to the urinal. This is what we went from. So don't get me wrong, I loved Main Road. I mean, it's where all my earliest memories were forged. You know, that first moment when you walk up the steps and actually seeing this blaze of green,
Yeah.
because we only had a black and white telly. The first game I went to was like the first time I'd seen all of that. And the greenness of it is the thing that really blew my mind. It was like, oh my God,
You're seeing a pitch that you saw on TV on the
magic.
front. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's
It's so different, you know. So I will always have massive amounts of affection for it, and so I should. But believe me, the Etihad is just a palace
big up
compared
home,
to
mate.
it.
Good to see you, mate, in the chat. Big
Yeah.
home, Mars, 100% ITK. You two and your ITK walk. Crack on, lads. A big up to you, mate. I'll see you soon. But no,
Is Tone Etihad Intel though?
that is a good question because it's getting
Etihad Etihad Intone, we should
Etihad
call him.
Intel. The thing is, right, like a lot of these, this is the thing, I'll put it in a title for a reason, right? The amount of ITK camps that I've seen this summer, it has been crazy. And I'm not saying these guys don't know anything, because again, you might know something, you might be getting lucky. But it's like, it's always these accounts like at Hugo Via, you're the one I'm on about, Hugo
Viana.
Viana account. And this is me having to go to people, by the way. Like, if you're doing that, do whatever you want to do, but just don't be. The problem is though, all this information though that they put out, people believe everything that they read, everything.
Yeah.
They don't actually question it. Like you actually get a proper like like I always feel like anything it's told by anyone, right? Pinch of salt. It's not an insult. I think just pinch of salt. Like a cool information, but you wait to see what happens because a story is often kind of maybe true if you start hearing the same thing for different people. They're like, right, it's going around now, the rounds, it's probably true. But if you're hearing stuff like, oh, we're after the La Liga and Premier League, right, okay, that's quite vague. It's not really, like, and also the whole Vinny Jr. thing. I was like, right, well, we might be interested, but the problem is like, we're especially with how Madrid operate, how he operates. Like, a lot of it just like what you're saying, it sounds like it could happen, but it's like, but you got to actually think logically. It's like Rodri. It's the same thing with Rodri. Madrid PR, Madrid media will put out everything they can to try and fuel the agenda that is going to Madrid. And look,
Because they're propaganda merchants.
yeah,
They're not media. They are part of Real Madrid.
they are, yeah.
Tony's
Yeah,
Club Call. Tony's Club Call. 0898. Club Call was also
Oh, that's brilliant.
our
In the paid chat. That's brilliant. Oh, Tyrell, I'm sorry for you, mate.
mate.
That's brilliant.
You do know now though that we're all going to have to start, being ITKs about Tone and saying it's definitely him.
It's definitely him, by the way. Chat. Yeah, it's definitely him, by the way. Out of context, definitely him.
But Club Call was also our internet. Club Call. We had CFAX as well. Remember?
Oh, CFAX.
Yeah. So, which was the internet or a pre-runner to it. But Club Call was an expensive number that you could ring and get in trouble off your mum and dad for, like Toad said, because it would be someone's remembered the number. Shame it wasn't 115 though. Steve, 0898 1211. Oh, that should have been. That should have been 5. So you'd ring it up. You couldn't talk back, and it would give you City News on a loop. But we used to do it. Because the appetite is still not satisfied, and we have more information, so much information that people make it up. Now, the appetite is insatiable.
See you soon, Tone. But and you're right. Again, the thing is, back when I was growing up, right, the rumours that I read were either on the BBC Sport gossip column or on Sky Sports News, or I was just told something and it apparently happened. Like again, or it's like, whoa, we signed this player, did we? Whoa, we signed everything. But I didn't actually again. People don't realize this, right? When I found out we signed Aguero, I was like, wait, what? We signed Aguero? But now they're like, here we go, Aguero to City confirmed. Like, it ruins. Honestly, right? It actually ruins transfers.
Is Fabrizio having a mare this window?
He's having the. I've got to say this right. I was onto him when I saw Divardio stuff. I was like, this
Yeah.
guy is a bit of a fraud. Now he'll have a go, he'll lash out at that, but the way he just calls "Here we goes" for it even happen, like that Yosko "Here we go" right, that happened a couple of summers ago. That almost ruined the transfer. It almost ruined it. And
He
again,
did it
Diamande,
this week. This week he was, because he's been having this war with Pettenberg, is it, and a
I'll
couple
play
of
him back.
others.
Yeah. To be fair, I like Platten, but I wouldn't say he was accurate. But I prefer him
Right.
to Romano personally. But that's more German
But
stuff.
he's been really triggered by this guy calling him out, and I think it's about time somebody did. And but in a ranty answer he put out, within two different sentences, he basically admitted that "here we go" does not mean that the deal is done, in two separate sentences. But if you read them together, he's actually admitting that "here we go" does not mean the deal is done. And then he tried to say it's never meant that. I'm sorry, mate. That's your catchphrase. That's the one that people bank on. When they
Mate,
say "here we go," the deal is done. And
right,
that's what you've been selling for years.
the Haaland "Here we go." I remember when that happened. I was like, wait, what? I was just like, back then that was huge. Haaland the City was a massive, like, everyone was excited for it, like buzzing because like we're like, yes, world class, big elite player getting into his own, playing for us, and and look at him now, what, 10-year contract, 2034. Like, I'm loving life right now, Haaland up front. But stuff like that, that's when Astrid Romano was actually properly in his element, where he was getting stuff like that and it was working out. Now the problem is that because stuff like Diamanda's happened now, and that hasn't gone through
Yeah,
yet.
yeah,
And funnily enough, Etienne Insel, although it's a bit, he put out a good thing about that. I was like, you know what? Okay, I read that. And actually, it's kind of true. So, I'm not saying he's true, but I always think, you know what? Some of the stuff they put out, it's worth to read it, but it's worth to sort of pinch your salt it and carry on with your day. Like, if you're believing everything people's putting out there, then that's more on you, because you should know by now. And look, I'm someone who actually did journalism at university for a degree. Like, I know this kind of stuff and what they kind of do. It's why I didn't do it as a career person. I just thought I don't want to be doing stuff like that where I'm just going to be lying and making stuff up for the sake of it. I know it's a job in football, but I'd rather do football media, different concepts, and journalism.
yeah.
But I know the industry. I've got friends who work in the industry who are my age that are
Right.
getting into it, so I understand it. I talk to them quite a lot about it.
If you meet anyone who's working for Pearson Media and they're willing to talk to me off the record, I'd really appreciate that.
I will let you know, mate, because again, I've got people
Pip,
who work for Centre Radio who work with like Southampton, Bournemouth, and that. So I talk to them quite a bit. So
well, Pearson Media are a genuine danger to football and football journalism. And if you want to know more about it, I'll tell you. But
yeah, yeah,
I want. Uh, last season, I published a bit of a rant, and one of the journalists that we love and admire and respect had a go at me, and said that's not true. And what I said is that several newspapers, the Liverpool Echo, the Evening News, the Daily Mirror, the Star, I think, and a couple of others, and a lot of regional newspapers have been bought by this company called Pearson Media, and they have a sliding scale of engagement targets. Okay, now people think that journalists write for engagement, and some of them do, but a lot of them are real journalists, and it was a real journalist who got back to me. But the thing is, if you let's take the Liverpool Echo. They got four people who write about the Liverpool Echo. One
yeah.
of them is their traditional Liverpool guy, right? And he's probably not on this contract. The same as the one who got back to me. He's probably not on this contract. But there are four others or three others who write daily content about that club. And it's usually absolute garbage, and it's usually clickbait. And they have a target. They have to get this amount of engagement. And if they drop below it, they're penalised financially or within their career trajectory. And if they exceed it, there is a bonus scheme. And this is Pearson Media, and they've got, a couple of hundred journalists covering Premier League clubs, and they are just paid to produce this shit, which kind of frees up the real journalists to write what they think and what they want,
Yeah.
which is the positive of it. But most of what you see coming out of these journalists, and you can easily find out whether they're working for Pearson Media, which is how I found out that City have 3 journalists working for Pearson Media, who work for the who are employed to put content into the Manchester Evening News, because you can just look them up, and
Yeah.
it will show you who they work for, and it will say Pearson Media. And so if any of your contacts are working for Pearson Media, off the record,
Yeah.
right? I'd love to talk to them. And the guy who called me out on it, I took the thing down, but that's what prompted me to go and look further. And the reporting that because I republished it a few days later with 3 different sources about how Pearson Media operate, and the 3 sources were all in two different stories in the in-house magazine of journalism that's been around for 100 and odd years,
Yeah.
right? Their in-house publication, and one other in-house publication for journalists that's been around for like 30 odd years. They're not going to post shit.
No.
And 3 different stories about how Pearson Media incentivize engagement journalism. And lots of journalists don't work like that, don't have those contracts, but everyone working for Pearson Media definitely does. And it's a worry, because it's just the shitification of everything.
Yeah. No, because I'll say I've been as someone who's like done like articles and kind of stuff, because I used to do a lot of City articles growing up as a kid. So, and to be
Mm.
fair, to be fair, a lot of people that were on Twitter at the time often read them and said I was good at them, and I would do them again. But I think the way that it is now, with like a lot of media consumption, articles aren't really the sort of the going thing anymore. I wouldn't say that they're bad. But I mean, back when I was doing them in like 16, 17, they were still good to do still. Now it's kind of like no one really reads them anymore. Like it's
I,
more
I, I
YouTube.
would I wouldn't stop doing them. Nobody's ever bought a song I wrote, and I've written thousands,
Yeah,
right? I write them for me. I write
yeah,
them because I can't not write them, and they help me think about the world. And I think some of them are good. Otherwise, enough of them are good to keep me doing it.
yeah,
Since I was 12 years old, I've written songs, and the ones I wrote at 12 weren't very good, to be honest. They were mainly about farting and
yeah,
things that amuse you when you're 12. When
yeah.
you haven't discovered girls yet.
Well,
So
well,
uh,
I remember writing. I remember writing was it articles when Pellegrini was Pellegrini's first season, and I was 14 at the time. But I just really liked. So I really just love talking about football. I think with football, I got into it a bit late, and I think my love for it just grew and grew and grew because I want to learn more and more and more and more. I think, and then obviously when you're that age, obviously, because again, my mum and dad weren't into football at the time. My mum's into it more now. Again, obviously, she did. Now I'm into it, but my dad wasn't ever into it, so I had to sort of do a lot of it on my own, a lot of my own kind of my own sort of research, and
yeah,
I just fell in love with football. And the thing is, in this family, right, we absolutely hate Man United, so that was never an issue at all. So people I don't realise that the reason why City was not because of the money, is because City were opposite United, and also
yeah.
I played with City a lot on FIFA when I was younger. I was like, what, I feel naturally connected. Since then, I can't get out of it now. I'm hooked.
I, I was I was on Dap's show yesterday, and there was a lady called Marla.
No, yeah.
Who, yeah, where's she from? Is she Mexican or Argentinian or
Oh,
something like that?
is that on Tariq show? Yeah, 'cause I watched it yesterday or yesterday. I was able to go on, but I watched it on yesterday. Yeah, I noticed.
Oh,
Yeah,
it could have been Tariq's, but I think it was because I was on that as well. I'm pretty sure it was. Was it on Dap's? That could have been Tariq's show.
it is Tariq show because Steve was there.
Yeah, yeah, you're right, Steve. And her journey was based on watching how she watched the City United game, and she got really pissed off at how United were being glazed by the commentators. And I just thought that is a totally legit entry point for you.
Yeah,
into being a City fan.
yeah,
If you watched United being glazed and you got that pissed off because what you were watching was not being reflected by what the commentators were saying, who were sucking United's dick as they usually do, then that is a beautiful hero story of entry into supporting City. If you came because you hated United, come here,
yeah.
come here, you're getting a hug.
Yeah, no. Mum hates United. Dad hates United.
Top,
Family, even the family that support other teams, like
right?
mixture of Southampton, Newcastle, all that kind of stuff. But they all hate United as well. So it's just like it's kind of like a anti-United, anti-Portsmouth, Sunderland. It's anti certain teams, and yeah. So it was kind of like I think from that, because people just don't realise that people grew up with their dad taking them to the games and that. Then fair play to you, but not everyone has the opportunity. It's just again like my dad, like me, get on really really well, but we like music and film, that kind of stuff. That's
Yeah,
our together thing. It's not football,
right,
and
right.
who don't have that don't understand it. It's like that's fine,
Yeah,
you don't understand it, but my like, I'm taking my dad to a City game this season, which is quite nice because
top.
he wants to go to a game with me. So it's weird how I'm the one taking him to his first game, but it's just how it is in my family. But so we'll go into that and go into a Kasabian gig afterwards, obviously at the Co-op
Well,
Live. So
your mission is that he moves to Manchester next season and gets a season card.
pretty much, yeah. Well, I say
It can
my kids.
happen.
Well, see, do you know what it is, right, Trev? When I have kids, they're going to ask me, "How good was Aguero, Dad?" Oh, son, you don't know how good.
Well, now you know. Now you know what my life is like.
Yeah. How good was Joe Day? Really?
No.
Of all the players that asked me how good they were, you asked me that. So I've got a lot of years to look forward to telling my kids how good.
Tell me about Steve Daly, Grandad. Well,
Well,
we paid
sit
£1 million for him, and he was fucking bobbins.
How good was Nolito, Dad? Well, he turned for 2 or 3 games and then he headbutts and then buggered off. Right, okay.
Paolo One Chop, how good was he? Well, we saw his dick once because it popped out the bottom of his shorts. Career highlight of Paolo One Chop.
Do you know what it is, right? I love just talking about stuff like that because, like, that's the beauty of being a City fan. Having a laugh at certain players that used to play for us, like even players that we signed for a lot of money, like Demichelis's goal against Fulham is the best goal ever seen. Like stuff like that, I will keep laughing at because that's why I don't get angry at stuff like that because I'm like, I've enjoyed a great journey watching this club, but I can't wait to see more of it. But football is not that deep for me. Like I just love to just watch the games and enjoy it. Look, I used to be very serious when I was younger. Like I got very irritated and that, but that's when it's when like you're 15, 16. Like you're different back then. Like you aren't, you're gonna moan and kind of stuff because you're a teenager. But I wasn't on Twitter at the time, so it didn't really come across very much. And that's kind of why I do YouTube now because if I ever feel like I've got something to say that might be seen as negative, I can talk about it on here and you understand what I'm saying. On X, you only see it from a certain context and it's not explained properly. People don't really do that on X because they just say they just blur it out on X and suddenly it's getting rid of like you got like 4 likes, 85 comments, and people say you idiot, and it's like if you have a YouTube, you can sort of say right, this is what I actually feel about it. You can have a debate about it. And I feel like some shows do get a little bit too heated, where it's like you can still have a debate about it getting a little bit too intense. I feel like we're City fans, so no matter how old we are, where we're from, that kind of stuff, we all want to talk about the club and talk about stuff. But there's no need to do it.
Sometimes it doesn't take much to provoke people. Sometimes reading back to them or summarizing what they're saying back to them and making them own it will send people apoplectic with rage. It will. Because and I do this and I won't stop doing it, but I don't do it to wind people up. I just want them to be very clear about what they're saying. And so I will say to them, you've said this, this, and this, so this is your opinion. You can disagree with it now, but otherwise I will take this as your opinion. And they get asked because they're trying to avoid owning the thing that they've actually just said.
Yeah.
because they didn't think about what they were saying. It was reactionary, it was emotional, which is fine. I've got nothing against emotion. But when I read back to people, well, I'm not reading it, I'm remembering what they say because I pay attention. And I put it back to them in a summary format. So this is what you believe. Well, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, 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 no. You said it. Be clear. If you didn't mean that, then what did you mean? And again, another level of rage comes out. And but should I stop doing that to keep calmness in a to make shows nice? Should I? I don't know. I
And
do that to people I love. Maybe I'm the arsehole. Who knows? Am I the arsehole?
am I the arsehole? That's often the thing you say, Vex. Are we the bad? Are we the assholes?
Yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah.
happens. Yeah. Well, no, see, the thing is, right? Obviously, a lot of the stuff from Main Road that I've learned, obviously from yourself, Martin, and Tony, people that were there. Like, and the thing, that's all I can really do. It. I can't, unless I had a time machine, I'll go back and time experience it myself.
But can we give you some of it? Can we take it out of our brains and kind of put it out there? I know that people don't like the granddad stories, and I'm not a granddad story guy. I'm way cooler than that. But and when it comes to City, I just want to transplant some of that, and
Yeah,
then maybe the more recently acquired fans, and I don't include you in that, but the fans who've joined in the last 7, 8 years, you know, maybe they'd understand us a little bit better, and maybe they'd be able to say, wait a minute, 'cause do I need to sit back here myself and kind of, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Moderate my hyperbole.
yeah.
Do I need to calm down? Some never will. Some are there for the
No,
drama.
no.
Some want the drama. They want to manufacture drama. They want to join in with drama. You know, somebody whose opinion I respect.
Helen the Bell of Large. Yep.
Yeah, but someone whose opinion I respect, I've now blocked on X because they sent me a message that was about something, and I hadn't been proven wrong about. Uh, but they sent me a Saki. You good, mate? About a story, you
Yeah.
know, and it was like, okay, you have just shown me more about yourself than you intended. That's why you're here, to be right. You're there to be proven right and to mock people when they're brave enough and have the balls to make a mistake or say something that's proven wrong. I know who you are now. You're a coward, and you're here looking to trap people and catch them out. And so you have nothing more to say to me anymore.
Yeah.
You good, mate? And he followed it up with another one in the same day. And it's like, yeah, do you know what? It takes balls to be wrong. What doesn't take balls is sitting back waiting for people who've had the balls to be wrong and then send them a, you good, mate? Fuck off.
Yeah.
Just do one.
Some people on X now just live to sort of to be proven right. Like a lot of them just don't really like. A lot of people on these socials now. Like they want to be proven right so badly. Like I don't know why that matters more than you supporting the team, but
Yeah.
like if let's say right, I predict that we don't win the league this year, and I'm right. Do I want that? No, I've been proven wrong. But like
Yeah.
it's a prediction, though. Like to me, if you ask me now, what thing I would probably say probably second again. If I'm wrong, great. It's right now. Like right now, like again, ask me in the window. Might be first, but that's kind of like how I'm. Like I said last year, Arsenal. No, actually, I said Liverpool first, City second. I said second. I thought we weren't. I felt we weren't quite there yet. I thought it'd be a bit more time. And to be fair, I was right, but you hope you're wrong. But that's just how I am. I think logically about predictions because I like to sort of look at it from a logical point of view rather than sort of like obviously I've got heart in it, but
Yeah.
sometimes heart is like what you want, but head's more of a how I think it will go. But I don't complain because I'm like, well, as long as we give it our all, then yeah, that's all I can. That's all I can ask for, really. At the end of the day, like football is not set in stone, guaranteed to happen. Like, all right, Arsenal won last year. It's what it is. A shame, but and I think we all know that it should have been ours after beating 2-1. It should have been our league at that point. But I think the the team had too many mistakes, and I think I didn't have enough experience at the back in Vardio or Diaz at the back to get us over the line in those games. It is what it is, and that's kind of why I look at it. Like, people don't realise how important experience is in a title winning team, because if you get rid of Kovacic, you get rid of all these players like Diaz because you don't like them, and you want younger players in there. Well, I'm going to have to say it as it is. You won't see again. This team won't win the league because of it. Yeah, we've got players like Haaland up front, but that experience is so important in games like.
Cover extending was a godsend to me. I just really wanted him to, and I'm glad he has, for the same reasons that you're saying.
Yeah.
Leadership and experience have a value. Youth and enthusiasm also has a value, but you have to calibrate them to having the same value. If you're someone who gets excited about the youth, that's fine. It has a value. I won't disagree with you, but you also have to allow yourself to value experience and leadership, because they're so important on the pitch.
Yeah.
The manager can't be on the pitch telling people to stick to the plan and where they're going wrong relative to what the manager has told them to. That takes lads on the pitch, and young lads can't do that. It has to be a senior player. It has to come from authority. It has to come. If Ruben Diaz is bawling you out on the pitch and saying, fucking do that, that's what you're supposed to do, fucking make sure you're doing it. He's Ruben Diaz, he's won a treble. You've got to listen to him. No matter who the fuck you are, you have to listen to him.
It's like,
you can't ignore Ruben Diaz barking an instruction at you, because who the fuck are you?
The thing is, Trev, right? Like, I'm going to say some home truths, not people look, Trafford, look, I get when people like him. I get it. Like, England #1 might not work out.
It's the third rail.
But what I said though, why is only Leeds going for him then if he's that good? That's
correct.
And as not me taking the piss, I want it to work, but I'm not. Like people say, oh, you're brought by Donnarumma, you're brought by Trafford. Exact same thing's happening here. You got to look at it as it is. Donnarumma is Donnarumma perfect? No. Trevor perfect? No. No one is perfect, by the way. None is Courtois. None is Neuer. No player in the world is perfect. They're human beings at the end of the day. They'll make mistakes. It's going to happen. But people are still in this mindset that we're playing a certain way. And it's like, guys, we're not. Sadly, we're not with Pep. Pep's not here anymore. Pep left after that great goodbye that I was at the last game. I almost said I was at the thing afterwards. I was lucky to see a send off, but he's gone now. As soon as I left, I was like, right, he's gone. Okay, but obviously it isn't me say I'm done, but I'm in mindset of like I'm in the management. I'm not thinking about the past or how we play. It's a clean slate now. It's a clean. This is a rebuild. Not like last year was more of a retuning. It wasn't. This is the rebuild now starts because we're now with a new backroom staff, a new manager, and we're going into a new future. That's where we got to chill out and realize that we will get there, but we've got to have patience.
The continuity I was looking for, which is part of the reason why I interviewed Elton Wellesby, and the Shankly succession, which worked for 4 successive managers. And I found the continuity, actually before I did that interview, the continuity, and it was confirmed during the interview, the continuity was what happened above. And with Khaldoon and that level of quality and ambition and, frankly, money, is what matters. That's the continuity. So we're not starting from scratch. This is a continuation of a plan that they put into operation, and they haven't made many mistakes. Look at what they've given us. The first few years finding their way, and then once it started to click, winning the Premier League became routine, became expected. This is unusual. And then Pep took it to the next level. So I'm hoping that tier of greatness at our club, that tier of leadership, drives us on. I want to put you on the spot. You might hate this.
Go.
Right. Are you ready?
Yep.
I've got before me the first 5 Premier League games.
Right. Yep.
I want predictions.
Okay. All right.
Because this will be funny. It's
All
an
right.
opportunity to be wrong, and I'll join in and be wrong as well. And
Yep.
then
Okay.
somebody every time for everyone I'm wrong on, someone can tweet at me. You good, mate?
Yeah.
You good, mate? You got the Bournemouth score wrong. You good, mate?
Yeah.
Right. All right. So home at against Bournemouth, a game I will hopefully be at.
Yep. I'm talking about that one as well. I'm because again, Bournemouth as well. Marco Rose, new manager. It's not Iriola anymore. It's their new as well. So obviously no croupier for them either. So I think we'll win that one. I'm gonna say 3-1.
Is that because Donnarumma is shit and Trafford should be in net? Nah.
Very true.
I'm going for 2-0.
Two
Right.
nil.
Palace. Palace away.
Again, new manager, PSH, now manager of Palace. It's another new manager. I think Palace are going to take a bit of a while to get going under the new manager. I don't think it'll be terrible, but they've got to adapt as well.
Who've they sold? Have they lost key players?
Um, mm,
I
I
rated
know.
them last season and the wheels came off, which was weird. I really thought
I
they'd be
mean,
somewhere last season.
obviously Gahey's gone, but he was gone in January. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know because Mateta's still there. So's Sarr. So's Pino.
Mm.
So's Wharton. Like, they've still got the basis of the squad still. Lacroix. Yeah, he's gone to Chelsea. So
Yeah.
there's a loss there. So I'm going to say we beat Palace 2-0
At theirs.
out there. I think Palace will take a while to get going under the manager.
Okay. All right.
I could be wrong,
I'm
but
go- I'm going I'm going for a draw there. A draw and a meltdown online.
4-0 win.
Penny penny
Oh,
in the
what a
sky.
4-0 win. Piss the league. HMS piss. Win it all.
Next up is Coventry, 4-0.
Yeah,
Home.
look.
We're just going to take them to the cleaners and tell them who they are.
Lampard's done a great job, Coventry, by the way. He's done a great job, Coventry, by the way.
City legend.
Yeah. But the problem is their squad hasn't got a lot of Premier League experience in it. And I think that's Lampard's got experience, but I just think Coventry are going to have to adapt. I think we'll win 4-0. That one. We'll get it done.
I'm happy with 4-0.
Yeah.
The next one, early for a derby. Away.
Well, right, because Carrick battered us. He did. It was 2-0, but it could have been a lot more another day. It wasn't for our keeper. And also, to be fair, Max Elaine, bless him, got absolutely.
Yeah.
Him and Kusanov were not ready, and Lewis were out of. That was the wrong time to have injuries. Because
Yes.
if everyone was fit, but Nunes, Vardy, Diaz, and it would probably been all right against them. But
Yeah, we would have shut them down.
This time we'll have them back, which is a big plus. Hopefully, bar touch wood, no madness. I think we'll win that game 2-1.
Yeah.
I think this time that Carrick ball was whatever it was, but United have got what Tielemans and Santos so far. Which again, I like Tielemans. I like him as a player. I think that's a good sign for United. But Santos is a weird one for me. It brought two players in midfield, and that's it.
Yeah.
So I'll go 2-1 too.
Yeah, I'm happy with 2-1. And the one will be the penalty that they get kind of late on us, to give them a chance, because that always happens.
Rat face goal and twat.
It'll be some sort of dodgy fucking decision with 10 minutes left.
Yeah.
To give the telly the narrative that they want. Okay, and the next one up is Sunderland.
This is the thing. It's the first five games before the first break, aren't it? Before the first, because I'm not sure because it's a weird start this time. Like we're starting later in the month, but also got a longer period of games to play before the first break. The Champions League. When would that start after the break? Would that start before? This is what
I'm just looking up when is the break.
I think it's after Sunderland. Defend.
Okay.
But I think Sunderland won 3-0 Sunderland. 3-0.
Why won't it tell me? Okay, the break runs 21st of September to Tuesday, October the 6th. So yeah, the Sunderland game is the last game before the break. it's weird, this break, isn't it? It's too soon.
Well,
You want to see your team get some sort of pattern and some sort of shape, and to know what they're going to be, and you get a feel of it, in those 5 games. But then the break happens. You
yeah.
know.
I mean, look, I'll go. I think if we win 5 out of our 5 games, which I think we can do, then that's a great start. Or even a
Yeah.
one draw for as long as we get 3 games unbeaten, that's all I'll care about. Because I'm taking it more not as a title race, but more of a I want to start well before we go into the madness of League Cup games and Champions League games.
Yeah. So let's recap those teams. We've got Bournemouth, Palace, Coventry,
Right.
United, and Sunderland. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, potentially 15 points. I think if we come out of that with 11 points, I'm happy.
But also as well, Trev, like look at the fixtures as well throughout the season. Our fixtures are actually quite spaced out this year. They're not like there's no like back-to-back big games this season. Like,
Well, there is, except for the break, because we got Liverpool straight after the break.
but that's what I mean.
Hang on.
There's no
Oh no,
back-to-back
sorry,
big,
no.
yeah,
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I thought United was the last game before the break.
which is
You're right.
quite good, isn't it? For the first time in a long time, if we were in a Champions League quarter final, we haven't got to worry about any like madness in the fixtures this time, which is quite good. It's quite
Yeah.
good. So for his first season, Maresca, it's gone quite well in our favour. The fixtures and the way they've been spaced out. So, but what I would focus on right now is focus on just get the points on the board. Again, I'm
Yeah.
not bothered about being top. No one cares about being top in any way. It's about just starting well and let's see where we are come Halloween and Christmas. Because again, we will know it, Trav. Even though we lost the league last year, the league is all about being top and not being top by the end of the season. It's not about being top at the start because it's cool being top at the start, but again, it doesn't win you anything anyway. It's just being top, which is quite cool. But it's
We
all
will
about
be there. That's
isn't
what Pep said, and Maresca echoed that in the presser.
yeah.
We want to be there at the end, and I think if we are, you can't say that Maresca's had anything but a great first season.
What I'm gonna
But
say
shall we
is,
just have a quick look at October? Go on.
yeah.
But
What I'm gonna say is quickly is that if we lose one of our first 5 games, I don't. It's gonna happen anyway. Do not melt down. Seriously, like
they
honestly,
will. Get out of my club. Get out of
it's
my
not
club. You're a scrub.
again. It's not your club though. It's not your club.
Yeah,
You just watch
exactly.
it. Like, but like, the thing is, right? I said before, I don't expect to win. Like, if he gets a trophy in his first year, he's already done. He's already done better Pep already in his first year, which
Yeah.
is crazy to say out loud, but it's true. Pep didn't win anything in his first year, which, to be fair, was fair enough because we had a pretty not a poor squad, but we had good players, but not really a great overall squad. It was a
Yeah.
developing squad, young
Yeah.
players through and through. So it's kind of the same for me. Like I just want to see this team develop and build and see where we are. Like Anderson, like if Rodri's here, he's not here. Whatever happens. But for me, Anderson, Biwani, I want to see them both play some games as well. I just want to see this team develop and grow. I'm not bothered so much about being there at the end. I think a lot of people are so worried about not winning. It's like, guys,
Yeah.
we've got to build a good team again. We've got some
Yeah.
good players, but we've got to build a team again with a new style of play. And
Yeah.
a lot of players aren't going to be sure up by joining us because, again, it's post Pep. If we win something this first year, people are like, oh, okay, he's doing well. I want to join the project because undoubtedly there'll be questions. Again, we're not a Madrid or Bayern Munich. That's not an insult. It's just true. We're not. We're not on the pedigree of them guys yet because we haven't won in Europe. We've only won one championship, which again, it's in terms of like what we've done in terms of treble. It's beaten Madrid, already, which is crazy. But we haven't had that success over many decades yet, where we've built a powerhouse of generations of players.
I said the other day that Real Madrid are not our peers; they're our target, and we will build our empire on the dust of theirs. And then when people push back against that, I say, okay, Manchester United, because Manchester United were in the bracket of those clubs, and they haven't been for 13 years.
Yeah.
And actually, it's only in the last 5 years that people have finally twigged it, and they are no longer mentioned in
But,
that company anymore. It's us. We replace them in that conversation of the
yeah,
top 4 or 5 clubs in Europe. And it didn't take, it took 15 years or 13 years to get there. But they are now not even close to being in that conversation. They think they are, and their fans will tell you they are, but they're not. Because it's not about fans. It's not about how many fans you've got. It's about what you're doing.
yeah,
And, they haven't won the league for 13 years. They haven't finished above City for 13 years. Everybody over the age of, or under the age of 25 cannot remember United's era of dominance. They weren't watching United and going, I want to join Man United, as Anderson has proved. He was 9 the last time United won the league. So, so we've got that. So yes, we're not their peers right now, but they are our target. We will build our empire on the rubble and dust of Real Madrid's, and I
yeah,
want us to, because they've been getting away with it for donkey's years. They've been good, but they also get away with it in terms of the way that the game is governed, the way that they're allowed to be funded. There's just I've learned a lot about Real Madrid through the Rodri thing, and I've also engaged with some of their credible critics, and that's been fascinating. And the election was fascinating from that point of view.
yeah.
So yeah, we're not Real Madrid, but we want to be, and we want to exceed what they've done. Won't happen in my lifetime, but I think our owners, that's their ambition.
Yeah, because what I say is like I want to beat Chelsea, United, and I want to beat like in terms of Champions League, right? I love to be able to the point where we've won more leagues than Liverpool, United at some point in the future. We've won more than them in Europe. I want to run. I want to rule England before I rule Europe. I want to get us
Yeah,
up because I think people think too much about Europe. Like guys, let's get England out of the way first before we worry about Madrid and AC Milan and that. Like we've got a long way to go still. Like don't get me wrong, the treble's unbelievable, but the hardest part about winning Champions League is that it's winning it again and again, and that's the
yeah,
hardest. Like we've already won one, so again, players that will come through now will want to do it again for us
yeah.
to back it up. But
But it's a knockout tournament. One bad refereeing decision can throw you out of it.
exactly,
There's too much random.
yeah,
So
exactly.
I don't know who the Wheelstone Raider is. That's
Oh,
Steve.
he's
I
a
normally get your your references, but that one's gone. Who is it?
it's like an older is a Willstone FC fan. He was like an older man, and he's like trying to. It's look up the video after the stream, right? But it's just
Yeah,
a
yeah,
guy
yeah.
that's he just chants the game. He's very old and sort of has a go at a Rebel fan and sort of says, "You want some? I'll give it
Oh, I
you."
know that guy. I know
Yeah,
that
it's
guy. I didn't
him.
know that's what he was called.
That's him. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay, okay. I get it.
Uh,
Do you want to
uh,
do you want to do October for fun?
let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. Why not? Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay, so we come back off the international break with Liverpool away.
Well, I'll say I'll preface this first, right? That also doesn't count obviously UCL game as well. That's also a thing. But once that's
Yeah,
obviously put in, then we can sort of But league Premier League games are what we're
yeah.
looking
Just
at.
doing Premier League. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Liverpool, see, right? The Anfield curse has been broken now.
yeah,
Like off, like without fans, and now with fans, we've now broken the curse. There is no. I'm not fearing there anymore. Even if we lose there, I don't fear it anymore because we've already won there already before. Iriola as well. I like him as manager.
me too.
I'm an Iriola fan as a manager. I think, although I'm worried of him because like he's a good manager, but will they give him time? That's a question we'll have to sort of look and see what they do.
I really like him, as you know, because of his leadership. I think that anyone who can take the resources that he had at Bournemouth
Yeah,
and make them play football like that is a leader of men, is a guy who has players who will run through walls for him,
yeah,
who will go over the top of a trench for him because he told them to. And leadership is so underrated. It's so underrated. You can be as tactical as you like and have all these new ideas, but if you ain't got leadership, no one's going to do what you tell them to do on the pitch. That's
yeah,
what Pep had. Pep had leadership. There's a great quote: "Leadership is what happens when you're not there." And I saw that every week, every time City took to the pitch, because Pep had given them instructions on how to play, and they did it, and it worked. And that's leadership. That's not nothing to do with tactics. Well,
Yeah,
a bit, because you're telling them the tactics that they have to do, but getting players to commit to it and be afraid of or want to do it is a different thing, and that's leadership, and it takes commanding respect.
yeah,
So Liverpool, I think they're a bit lost, and I think they'll be lost for quite a bit of the season until Areola kind of puts his stamp on it. He'll get them working, no matter what resources he's got. He will make it work, and he's not starting from scratch. He's got a decent basis for that team. They've got a solid core, and I think he will get them. He'll get a tune out of them, but I think it won't happen straight away. So I think
yeah,
we're meeting them away at a good time,
yeah.
October. I think we could nick it. Yeah. So I'm
And
going one
also,
0
getting two of the harder games away from home out of the way is a good start as well. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 2-1, not last time, but this time not a late. I mean, to be fair, I'm gutted that Shirky's goal didn't count because that celebration we did that. I went,
Oh
like,
man, what a
picture was
moment!
right there. Him doing that on Vert's head after Shirky and Vert's comparisons. Yeah, oh, mate, that's
And
the
they
player. By the
hate him
way,
now.
I mean, I will say
He's
right.
he's he's our new Bernardo. He's the one that everyone's going to hate.
I'm going to
Bring
say
it
it
on.
right though. Cherky, by the way, is going to do very well in this Morosca system. He's going to
Right.
do very well because I think, look, the attackers under Pep, right? Obviously, in the early years, got a lot of joy out of how we were playing. I wouldn't say the recent years were terrible, but you could tell it wasn't quite as fluid as we probably wanted it to be. Maybe that's because obviously of how Pep was potentially compared to what he was, but obviously before the treble season and that. I think if we're going back to that style of play, players like Semenyo, Savinho, and that they're staying, you're going to get a lot more out of them than you would originally. Because I think you're going to start seeing a lot more rapid runs to the fullbacks like Nori and Nunes as well, which I'm excited to see more of Nori as well, left back with
Yeah.
I think so. For right, any judgment you've had of certain players, they stay right. Forget about it. Clean slate. Judge them on this season because we're playing away now. That's going to go
I
back to
like
what.
that. That's a really refreshing way to look at it, Luke. Yeah.
Because look, for me, right, I will do my season review in this season. I'm like, right, this player's not good enough, and that's what we'll do. He ain't good enough. Just didn't do it
Yeah.
because you've had a year under a manager, plenty of time to sort of a bigger sample size, two different managers. You weren't good enough. The door's there. That's how it should be anyway. But you can't just throw a player out anyway because he was crap on the Pep. You got to give Marmouche at least a year under Maresca. Does he work?
Yes.
All right, it didn't work. All right, we tried, didn't work. Get money for him. Next player comes in. That's how it should be anyway. Because how can you just say that? Oh, this player's like Ryan to me today was actually quite good today. Like he scored
Yep.
a well taken goal. Yes, it is the team he played does matter. But I just think that let's just give these guys a bit of time. Let's a bigger sample size because again, what happens if giving players at least a year and then seeing it do second year?
There is no risk and potentially a good reward if we're up 2-0, bringing Marmouche on for 15 minutes to give Erling a rest.
That's what I'm thinking. Because again, right, like people are judging this team without even getting everyone back. How are we meant to know how we're going to play? As I said before, right, I don't care at all how we're playing right now. I'm like, look, this guy's doing well. Like so far, out of 2 games, I was really impressed with Semenyo. Really impressed with Semenyo. He's like Savinho as well. I thought played pretty decently well. I thought, you know what? If he stays, I am all for giving him another year, and I hope he gets
Yeah.
himself back into this team and back into the good races and everyone. Because to be fair,
There's a lot of sentiment that agrees with that right now, recently. Well, since yesterday. I
yeah.
like it. That's good. People are changing a little bit with him.
Well, it's because I don't hate players. At the end of the day, these players are just trying their best. Does it always work out? No, it happens. Some players just don't work at the club, and they go elsewhere and do really well. I just think for me, I just want to see the guys like Marmouche and that get given an opportunity under a different manager because maybe the style of play wasn't right under Pep. It's possible that was the case because again, not every player works under Pep.
Yeah.
Ibrahimovic didn't work under Pep. He worked under Mourinho. It's how it is sometimes.
So,
So
so is the Calvin Phillips redemption arc under Maresca a thing? No,
it's possible. Well, I think
I'm
some players,
taking the
it's like
best.
it was over ages ago. It's beyond saving now,
Yeah.
sadly. But no,
All right.
regard.
The next game.
Yeah,
So Liverpool, you've gone 2-1. I'm going 1-0. I think we'll nick one.
yeah,
Um, because Areola just organises teams well. That is what you'll see first.
yeah.
Is the team organised? As long as they're listening to them and they don't think that they're bigger than him. And I think they'll be relieved that they're no longer working for the narcissist who left them. So, okay, Slot was just a chronic narcissist.
Yeah.
Never took responsibility. Never, he was very happy to put blame everywhere else. Just dickhead. So next game is Ipswich home 3-0.
Yeah, Ipswich to me, they're going down. Gary O'Neill's got experience, yes, but Ipswich they've bought like a young Brazilian striker. They've bought a couple players here and there, but I'm like, it just doesn't impress me. Like, I don't think they've properly invested their squad. So I think I'm going to go 4-0. I think I think Haaland will have a great start to the season. I think he
Yeah.
will.
And next up, I would say, depending on what they do in the next month, an enfeebled Aston Villa.
I've got to say, right, I'm a bit worried about Aston Villa right now because they've lost Rodgers to Chelsea, which is a massive blow.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why. I'm being honest, right? I like Morgan Rodgers. I do rate him highly,
Yep.
but I do wonder like, why Chelsea. Like right now, Alonso I like, but Chelsea is such a volatile club right now that they're very
Yeah.
uncertain about where they're going to be. I would have, if I was him, I would have stayed where you were for another year in Champions League with Villa, and then gone next season to maybe like an us if we have someone available to sort of come into. I think he's gone a bit too early for me.
He's gone too early.
Yeah, and
That was a.
yeah,
It was the commentator. That was his catchphrase. He's gone too early.
yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I know you're on about but
Steve will know.
yeah.
His catchphrase was, "And he's gone too early."
No, I just think Rodgers for me he's gone to the wrong club for me, and Tielemans as well. Like I think really, are we doing this gimmick of I'm going to save United gimmick? No one is saving them. You're not that guy. But Embuemo as well. Why are you United? You're too good for this team. Again, I rate him again. Honestly, Trev, Memphis Depay, Van Persie, guys that I rate so highly. Why are you going to United? Why are you going to that club? Like I get so annoyed at it. It's like players
because we're Man United. Sorry, we're Man United. You can't do we're Man United in a Manc accent.
No,
yeah, it's got to be Cockney or Irish or Scandinavian. We're Man United. We are from Manchester.
Yeah, Tielemans for me as well. That's a loss as well, Villa. Like again, Villa's.
This is why I'm saying it's an enfeebled Aston Villa.
Unless
they're going to do miracles in the transfer market. They are an enfeebled team.
They've bought what Garnacho. Like, what are you doing, lads? Garnacho.
Yeah.
I actually think Emery is going to leave Villa because the way that they've given him the squad, right? They've sold out way too much. They should have been much more harder on the fees they're asking for the players. Rodgers, all right, a lot of money, but it said no, we're keeping him. Because did Rodgers say to Villa, I want to leave? No.
If I was a Villa fan, I'd be gutted that we sold anybody and didn't consolidate some weaker positions.
Yeah.
And drop 180 million or 150 million in the transfer window. So they're behaving like a small club, and they're better than that. And Emery's done brilliantly, but he's got great players, So they scared me a bit last season, and I think I think they're in for a shit season. And the final one for October is Brighton.
Well, I think Villa, I'm going to say we win 3-1. Are we at home?
Yeah.
Are we at home, yeah?
Yeah, no, Villa away. I think we'll win. I think we'll do
Yeah,
them
I think
2-0, could be 3-0.
the Villa Park curse of the last few years, I think will end this time. I
Yeah.
think we'll win this time.
Yeah. Yeah,
Brighton.
I think that will be a significant result for us.
Yeah,
And, and I think Maresca's the man for that game.
yeah.
So, yeah, 2 or 3-0 Villa. Okay, and then Brighton and Hove Albion at home.
Now Hersler had Pep's number. 2 draws, 2 wins until you play against them. But I think Maresca, he didn't do that well against them, I think, for far as I'm aware.
Right.
So I think, look, we are due a Brighton win at some point. We are due to beat Brighton at some point. And I think, let's get some revenge on them. Let's batter the shit out of them. Let's just, let's just get this over with. Kind of like, again, like that draw last year was annoying. That 1-1 draw, the loss away, the last 2-1 losses at home we've had against them last 2 years. I think I think for me, right, scores to settle, beat Brighton, beat Villa. Just settle the scores.
Yeah, 2-0. 2-0 is a good shout, Steve.
2-0,
I'd say
yeah.
2-0 at home, potentially 3. Because I think if we go 2 up, I think they fall over.
Yeah.
And then it could be anything.
Because aren't Brighton your partner, aren't they? I think.
Mm-hmm.
Aren't Brighton is a conference leader, isn't it? All right, the conference league, I think. I think the conference league, because I know Sunderland and who's well on. Sunderland.
Yeah, they finished 8th. They finished 8th, so they're in Europe. Yeah. Why is it not telling me what competition? Don't tell me what competition. Oh, Conference League. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
I think we once qualified for that. I think, or its forerunner, by it was under Kevin Keegan, by being the cleanest team. We qualified. We didn't deserve to be in it, but we qualified by being, having the least yellow and red cards.
The Fair Play Award, yeah, I know.
The Fair Play. We got into Europe on the Fair Play trophy, on the Fair Play Award.
Yeah. Arsenal.
You'll never sing that. You'll never sing that. Going to Europe on the Fair Play trophy.
Yeah, but the thing is, right? Like, honestly, I'm looking at the rest of the team in the league, right? Like Brighton, two thirds of Brighton, right? They've actually invested quite well in their team. Like, they bought a few. Like, is it Vuskovic they got from Tottenham, which I'm surprised they got him out of Tottenham. He's a talented player as well. They're investing a lot in that squad. I'm actually intrigued to see where Brighton are this year. I think a lot of the players in that team as well. Like, obviously, got Matoma as well, who's a very talented player as well. They've got so many a lot of young players as well coming through for them. I just think for me, I think Villa for me are going to struggle massively this year. Because I think United as well will as well. I think United for me, it's the same squad as last year. What changed? Like, Tielemans and Santos, all right, they're not bad players. They're good players in their own right, but are they going to really put the scale towards the title race? No, of course not. No, but it just feels a little bit. I don't know. Like, I look at the rest of the teams and I think, is there anyone really standing out right now? No, they're not. Like,
no one scares me. No. I am not intimidated by any of them. In a Toto Cup, you're right, Steve. But I think that's what became the conference. I think it went through.
I wouldn't mind, Luis. I wouldn't mind him to go to Barcelona. I wouldn't mind that, to be fair, because at least Barcelona are a little bit more respectful in regards to the sort of football they play, and also Pep came from there, so they have a bit more. But also, can you even afford him? Can you even afford Rodri? That's the thing.
The only conversation I've ever enjoyed about Rodri leaving was one that went on for about 20 minutes. It was on Mancunian Way, where we thought about Rodri going to Barca, and the whole tone changed. Everyone was like, "Oh, we're all right with that."
Because the thing, look, Barca are Barca, but I like them as a club because obviously Barca,
Catalan, and
yeah. And also, it suits him more. He suits Barcelona more than Madrid. I know he's from Madrid, but he suits Barcelona for football as well. Him and Yamal and Barcelona will be a great watch for sure. Obviously, Like, look, I understand that he wants to go back home, but I'm not against that at all. He's been here 7 years, a long time. Obviously, I
We've had
like
the
him.
best of him. We've
Yeah,
definitely had the best of him.
I just feel like, and also I do a show with some Bayern fans and a lot of fans from around Europe. It's like a Champions League show kind of thing where we sort of
Right.
talk about stuff. And they were saying to me like they actually think if Rodri goes, will be all right because they said the thing is he's what post injury. Yeah, he says a couple more years, it's great, but I can't see Rodri really lasting for 4 more years in the Premier League because I think because of the injury he's had, he's still a brilliant player, but he's not the same player or the same because that weakness is still there now. It's going to be there in
But,
his
but
business as well.
he became mortal. He became mortal with that injury. Bajowski wrote a great article. It's worth the pound to get past the paywall. With Guardiola. Guardiola was talking, and Bajowski brought it together beautifully. This is really good journalism because he took what Guardiola said about the challenge of playing in the Premier League and how physical it is and how demanding it is. And then afterwards, Bajowski editorializing, adding his own original thinking to it, brought Rodri into that context then. That Rodri's been doing that for 8 years, for 7 years.
Yeah,
And so I think it's a great article. Please read it. Please pay the pound. It's very little sports journalism is worth any money at all these days. But that article is brilliant. It's quite long. You'll learn a lot about Guardiola. You'll learn a lot about the club. But I think the way that he brought Rodri into that context was quite brilliant. It was really good analysis and
yeah,
really good journalism. Clever stuff. So bravo, Simon.
yeah. I
Top,
say,
top content.
and to be fair, like I've had someone before actually in the show years ago. Well, not years ago. Like, last season, I got him on the show to have a chat about City. So I'm going to try and get Sam Lee on actually at some point. I'll be a good
Yeah,
chat. Is
yeah.
I do like chatting to the journalists. I know obviously is it Jack Gore's going on with Martin and Tone at some point.
Yeah, on the 19th. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to ask at some point down the line to do the same thing as well, but down the line kind of thing. Because I like chatting to journalists close to the club because you get a different point of view. Because
Yeah.
they're not doing it to annoy us. They're doing it because they want to report for us. That's why I always trust Sam Lee, Bashkowski, or Jack Gorman because they're the ones that are close to the club. And I'm not saying journalists aren't perfect, but the ones that are close to your club, like, you know what, I'll believe a bit more on because they actually will know their stuff. That's why I look at
I
it.
want to talk to them, and I won't be allowed to, I'm sure, because I'm fascinated by football media. And I know the abuse that they get is unbelievable. I did a YouTube video quite a while ago where I talked about a golden era of football journalism and put some examples of it there. But these guys have been dragged out because of social media. They've been dragged out of the press box and into. If somebody got asked with something you wrote in a newspaper, they'd have to write a physical letter, in pen, in biro, put it in an envelope, and post it to the editor, and never hear about it ever again. So they could do their screeds and rants and call people whatever names they wanted to, right? But now, within a nanosecond of you putting something out, if you're one of those three good journalists, you're being called every name under the sun by reactionary wankers immediately. And the questions I want to ask them is about that. How has that affected the institution of journalism? How do they view fans? Because I've heard journalists talk about fans and it wasn't flattering. I've overheard journalists talk about fans, you know,
Yeah,
and it wasn't flattering. But I understand why it wasn't flattering, because the dog's abuse that these guys get, it must affect them, and that's what I'm interested to know from journalists about. I want to dive into that, and because I think that affects how they write and what they write, and I want to know about that. And also I do want to know about the pressure for engagement, which I think the tier of journalists you just meant are not subject to, but I also know that they have colleagues who are probably sat in a cubicle, somewhere anonymous, or Milton Keynes, the same thing,
Yeah.
who are employed specifically to write stuff for engagement. So they're kind of a tier above that, which is great.
Yeah.
But I know that they're human beings. Something that's happened in Maresca's presses, which I wrote to the club about 3 years ago for the first time, and then followed it up a few times, never got a response. But I wanted journalists to announce their names in presses and who they work for,
Yeah.
because I wanted better pressers. I didn't want every presser to be journalists setting click traps for Pep and asking him provocative questions that they can get their headline out of. And that's what they became under Pep. They were asking him wind-up questions. You get the first two questions from known guys that were usually, about the game that was coming up. And then by the third or fourth question, you were just getting traps about whatever that week's latest manufactured controversy was. And I thought, okay, if the journalist has to say, I'm Dave Scribbler from the Daily Scribbler, it makes them accountable, because I can't recognise them by their voices. But if they have to open every question by saying who they are and who they work for, we'll be able to identify exactly what sort of journalists they are and what they're interested in, and be able to evaluate it in a much better way. I want us to be more informed about that. And then we'll see patterns. Who are the shit stirrers? Who are the guys who turn up to these pressers just to wind the manager up, or just to get the clickable headline?
Yeah.
Because I think we need to know their names,
No, we
because then
do.
we know how seriously to take whatever else they write. And we just go, okay, we know what kind of journalist you are. You this is what you do. So I don't have to pay any attention to you. And that's good. It's good for the good guys. If you see a journalist like the BBC guy last year doing city presses was brilliant. And you saw Pep warm to him as the season went on. You saw Pep lean forward, and I think he even complimented him a couple of times on the question he was asking.
12? Bloody hell, man, come on.
You're on his channel, and you're referring to him as the guy on the left. Are you
Mate,
new?
it's all good, mate. It's fine. I'm not. It's all fine, mate. You're not being horrible, but 12 years old. Come on, man. Gee, come on, 13, 14, come on, a bit more than 12. Come on, a bit more than that.
I still think you need a soul patch for balance. By the way,
Yeah. No, again,
no, it's your call. It's your call.
yeah. No, I'm. With a beard, right? You either get a guy that gets a beard when like 13, or your beard that grows, weirdly over time, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Great British band. It is Great British Banter, Matthew. Oh, mate. Oh no, but no. Do you know what it is, right? Like journalism in this country, right? I've always sort of been very aware of it and very much. And I mean, it's especially with 115. I think when 115 drops, right? I'm gonna do
Yeah.
a good stream about that, because when we if I know about it and we're clear of it, I think we're clear of it. I'm going to do a stream, right? And Trav, you might want to come on that stream. We'll do a proper discussion about the way it's been handled, because obviously I know Martin will probably do it as well, but I think everyone should be doing it anyway, because the way that they've spoken about us for the last 3 years regarding this has been nothing short of disgusting. The way that we've been talked about in the media, and the way that we've been and the way it's been sort of handled and sort of portrayed
To the point where we had to send a cease and desist.
Yeah,
which brought a lot of them into line.
Yeah,
because they knew they were flirting with libel.
Yeah, and
the Madrid guy the other day, I don't know if you saw my post on that. Absolutely stepped over the libel line.
Yeah.
Now, not to the point where he said that City have got endless money. I think he's American. He speaks with an American accent, but he said that City have limitless money because of phony sponsorship deals. That's libelous, absolutely libelous. Because that's not been found. The City have never been found guilty of that. And he's got a big channel, and he's a Madrid propagandist.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, with something like that, it doesn't matter whether you win it or not. He would have to go through the inconvenience and expense of defending that against City's lawyers, against Lord Panic. Good luck with that, mate. I hope you still got your house at the end of it, of defending yourself against it. Or you're going to have to get on your fucking knees on your own fucking channel and beg our forgiveness and apologise.
Mm-hmm.
Because what he said there, and I researched the shit out of it, and I asked a couple of mates who know about such things, and they went, "It's libelous enough."
Yeah.
In other words, it would go to court. That's the hurdle.
The
And
thing
once
is,
it goes to court, he has to defend it.
the thing is, Trev, the way we're speaking, right? Let's say basically what you're insinuating is that Abu Dhabi is corrupt. Then you're insinuating that
Yeah.
Chip Mansour is guilty of money laundering.
Intentional corruption. Yeah.
But that's why I'm thinking this is not going to land, because the thing is, like even like maybe some things you might be guilty of, like maybe like non-corporation kind of stuff. Yeah, that's fair enough. But the fact is, the stuff that they're mainly accusing us of, and bear in mind, most of these charges, by the way, are like repeated charges of small things anyway. It's not like a lot of it. It's just a lot of waffle.
Yeah.
Because I actually read it, I thought, you know what, I'm actually going to read it myself. Because you know what, rather than sort of assume what's going to be, like Adam does an X, I'm actually going to read the whole thing. I was like, right, okay. So really, it's like not much at all, really. It's just a lot of repetitive stuff to add up to.
The statement that the Premier League released, the big statement, was ridiculed in the legal world. Absolutely rinsed.
Yeah.
It was full of basic grammar errors and spellos, and it was just all over the place, And so but that was the one that lit the firework that then went off. But you notice smarter people have modified their language, not since the cease and desist. I think what's he called? Simon on Talksport. What's the guy called on Talksport? I've made videos about him. His name
Simon Jordan.
Simon Jordan.
Yeah.
Simon Jordan's become much more reasonable about this, and I think that the episode that happened was when Stefan told him, "Look, if you're found guilty on this, right, then there has to be further legal in the real law, not the club law, not the league law.
Yeah,
there are criminal implications." And 3 of the biggest names in accounting are implicated in it. That's the bar. That's the bar. That's the bar for an appeal, by the way. If City take this outside of the jurisdiction of the private club rules and take it like we did with APT and test it in the law of the land, that's the bar that the Premier League have to then prove. They have to prove intentional criminal fraud, not just by City, but by false accounting from Ernst & Young and the other 2 big accounting firms that signed off on our books.
Yeah.
And they won't fancy that fight because they can't afford that fight. They can't afford to take on City and those 3 big accounting firms who will be compelled to defend themselves.
Because as I'm saying, Etihad, Etihad Airways, they'll be involved. Again, this is what I mean. It's not just us, by the way. Like people think, oh, it's like Chelsea. No, it's not. It's not like what they're accusing us of here. And the thing is, right, how could you believe a guy in, is it Pinto, a journalist that was accused of hacking, right, when he's hacked stuff? And like, oh, but he's hacked stuff and got in there. Again, what he's come out with, right, could have been put out of context, completely out of the context. Again, it's like, this is, believing a hacker is ridiculous anyway, in itself.
Yeah. Because you don't know if he gave you everything he hacked or whether he gave you a selection of information that proves the selling point, which is corruption.
Yes.
But he could have hacked a lot more. The difference between that and what the tribunal have got is the tribunal have got all of those emails. All of them.
Yeah.
So they will see the context in which those hacked emails sat and how selectively they were picked. The thing that amuses me about Magic Twat and all those other guys is that all of their endless screeds about this are based on the information that's available in the public domain. And only that. They haven't even seen the evidence. They haven't seen any of it. All they've got are the hacked emails and the European case. And they've got nothing. If you're basing these endless screeds, which they get, the only engagement these channels get is when they do 115. Nobody cares about anything else they write, so they're all fucked when it's over,
Yeah.
right? But they have the same information that's in the public that everyone does, and
Yeah.
that's hacked emails, and we don't know whether those were doctored or not. We don't know the context in which they occurred. Fortunately, the panel have read everything. They've read the context in which those, and when you see 400 emails and only one of them, has something that might sound fishy, but all the rest of them are legit, the fishy one looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I don't think we're getting done for anything. I think they'll get us for like tardiness and long grass and shit like that. All the stuff they padded it out with to get the big number.
Also, I'm not sure if you knew, right? So I've got this feeling, right? So basically, what was that? Someone's come out today about Rodri going to Barcelona now instead of Real Madrid. I don't know if you've seen that today, but a Madrid guy put something out recently about there were doubts about him going to Madrid.
Yeah.
I've got this.
Yeah, I reposted that, and he's a Madrid guy as well. Yeah.
I kept thinking, right, how quiet has it been on that front for the last 2 weeks? It's gone quiet, hasn't it? It's gone very quiet on that front.
You know my theory on this. Perez is, because I followed that election as well.
Yeah.
So in short, Perez is a dog who caught the car. He didn't want to catch the car. He wanted to run and chase the car and bark at it like dogs do, and then find it next season parked up with the engine running and the door wide open, and get in that car and drive it away. And even Mourinho said that he wasn't looking at Rodri, wasn't interested, right? But the hype and hysteria from the Madrid media and fans because of the World Cup, right, has meant that he's been forced to buy him now, and he was still wriggling and trying not to buy him, hence the 40 million insulting offer, which apparently I've never seen verified by anybody, but it's from good sources, so okay. So, and now he's getting Diomande, a shitload of money, and they have a liquidity crisis. Everybody knows about that. So he definitely didn't want to buy Rodri now, and so we're at a negotiating table. Rich disagrees with me on this, but we're at a negotiating table now, knowing that this guy cannot fail to sign Rodri, and therefore it's £100 million, mate. Because we don't have to sell. We'll take a 40 million hit. If that's all we're going to lose, if all we're going to lose by not selling him is your paltry, insulting, stupid 40 million euros, we're okay. Because we get Rodri for another season, we'll probably win the league. So, go away and come back with a sensible number. Or do one.
I've got this feeling, right, that he's going to sign a new contract. I don't know why. I've got some feeling about, imagine the scene, like, it would.
I've got a bookmark folder called Twerky Snake Cunts. And it's all the people who've posted that Rodri's twerking for Real Madrid and he's a snake, or he's a snake. It's definitely a bookmark folder in my Twitter, because they're all getting it. They're all absolutely getting it. And the guy who sent me, "You good, mate?" He's double getting it. He's getting a video dedicated especially just to him. No, he's not.
Imagine if we got a breaking from Ornstein, Rodri to sign a 4-year contract. It was like Madrid media, YouTubers getting angry. Oh,
do one.
Oh,
that's going to be
fucking do one, mate. I love
champagne breakfast the day that drops.
Because look, it's just
there is a case for selling him, and there is a case for it's the best time to sell him, Matthew. Okay, there is a really compelling case, and this is it. We haven't had the use of him for almost 2 years. Rodri does a bunny, yeah.
I'm saying
the case is that we haven't had the use of a fully fit firing Rodri for 2 seasons. One, the ACL, and the second season is the recovery from the ACL, where we pretty much only had him for half the games, and he wasn't fit for most of them.
Yeah.
Now, he did have a great World Cup, but that's spaced out games, all of that. So because we got used to not relying on him, then him extending for a year means next season, if he's playing like he did for Spain, we'll become reliant on Rodri again, and therefore the missing him when he does go on a free at the end is much more of a problem to deal with. So selling him now is right, but not for 40 million euros it ain't, and not for 70 million euros it ain't. I said anything north of 70 million pounds is fine. I wrote a long thing that nobody read, obviously,
But
about it.
if he stays, because no, look, I'm not insinuating that Tony and Martin are lying. By the way, I'm not. Look, they get
No,
told stuff by themselves, right? But sometimes
yeah,
what you're told can be maybe that's been because again the thing is, right, at the end of the day, right, no one really knows what Roddy wants to do anyway. But people might say, oh, they do, and not I'm gonna go. We'll different things, and we all hear different things. But
yeah,
the thing is, we just don't know what he really thinks.
no. A
And
lot of people, with strong opinions about it, think that his wife didn't like living in England, or his long-term girlfriend didn't like living in England. She's never lived in England, and loads of people didn't know that. I wrote a post about that. I said,
and
look, she's training to be a surgeon in Spain. That means that she has no choice where she lives. She has to be in Spain for 11 years because that's how long it takes to become a surgeon in Spain. And she's going into her last year this year. And they
and
met at university.
well, here's the thing, right? What if and don't what if she finishes her residency and decides to move to the UK and work at NHS? It could happen, by
Yeah,
the way. We do.
yeah,
This is the thing, and look, this is the thing I'm coping. Yeah, I'm just thinking because, again, surely a deal would have been done by now.
yeah,
Think about it, right? If we had known, right, he wants to go confirmed, a deal would have been agreed by now with someone. It would not.
yeah,
It would not take this long to get sorted out. I'm not saying I know what transfers happen, but surely, you would know by now
yeah,
from
yeah,
Rodri himself. Right, he's off. Fair enough. We'd know because again, why isn't Jack Gordon said anything? Why Sam Lee said bits and pieces here and there, but not really concrete. He's going to leave or go anywhere. But she kind of
yeah,
said nothing. I'm not saying that they know anything. I'm sure they probably are trying to know, but again, probably kept quiet. Like Fabrizio will get told things by people, but it doesn't mean he knows what's going on as well. Like so, for like if our journalists don't know what's going on, then how much know anything?
Fabrizio has a vested interest in repeating whatever Real Madrid tell him to, not because they give him bags of money, which some people think that's naive.
Yeah,
His entire business model is based on a quid pro quo.
yeah,
He does favors for clubs and agents, and they give him information in return. It's not brown envelopes. It's just a fact of how his business works, and all the rest of them are in the same business. But real journalists aren't in that business. But Talksport are in that business because it's drama, and you know they daily make mountains out of molehills. It's anti-city, so there's another level of journalist and gobshite who will love a Rodri's going story. So I
yeah.
don't think that our three guys who we rely on could stand up against the torrent of propaganda coming out of Real Madrid through their
No.
massive channels, and also people like Romano and other gobshites who will glory in the fact that we're losing Rodri, which I don't think is as big a blow as they think. Jennings is the worst. You're absolutely right. I made a cartoon about Rory Jennings as a 4-panel cartoon,
Yeah,
and it was something that some ridiculous thing, and it was a talk sport producer talking to an editor, and they're saying we need someone to say this. Who've you rang? And then I gave a list, Condi, blah, 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 blah.
yeah,
They've all refused. And then it's like, who can we get? And then the final panel is a light bulb and went, Rory Jennings. Because Rory Jennings will say fucking anything for money. Anything. You could be a producer at Talksport and say, Rory, I want you to say that you personally have taken a shit in someone's bed, and he will say it. He will say it for the money because he doesn't care. He doesn't believe anything he says.
Yeah.
You can never take them seriously because they have no original thoughts. It's a business, and he is a puppet.
Yeah.
He's a cartoon. He's a cartoon, a click-shitting cartoon.
Yeah.
Click-shitting is a phrase I hope that catches on, by the way. A bit like I hoped, some of my other...
Exactly. How much?
Yeah, how much? Yeah. I don't think he cares how much. I think he just wants to be on air saying shit,
I mean, the thing is, right? Just like, guys, hire me and Trev to do the show. We do it for you.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
We'll tell lies about other clubs for nothing.
United,
just for the crack. Just for the crack. We'll just make shit up for you.
Yeah,
it looks like Jennings has got a full-time job on TalkSport. A business that's entire model. Oh, fuck Boovy.
I'm sorry, right, but like
fucking Wurzel.
The same guy, by the way, that DM'd me years ago, right, before we even got onto True Geordie stuff, right? Because I had a big following with him at the time. Asking him to retweet some of his stuff. I've actually got messages back there. I'm not sure where they're gone now, but I found it like years. Like, wait, what? I was like, because Boovy used to follow me on Twitter years ago. I'm not even lying, by the way. Like, I don't know who he was, by the way. I was like,
learning how to be a City fan, learning how City fans talk.
I'm sorry, right? Like, I'm sorry, but like, he's. I look, could be wrong, but I just think, where have you come from, mate? Like,
okay, I know. I did the origin story, and nobody ever contradicted me, not even him. Him and Rory Jennings started off on working for a production company. Okay, my theory is that Jennings started to get some, and then it was the same time that City started to win things, and so that production company decided they needed a City fan, and so Boovy went, "Oh, we'll do that."
Steve. All right, me,
right?
Me?
Yeah, I'll do that. So then their careers, they kind of then formed their own production company, which I think they sold, and then they've moved on. They've been together, and so that Boovy is an entirely manufactured Manchester City fan, and if ever Boovy hears me say that and wants to take me on and show me his Man City history and tell me his Man City story, I'd be very happy to hear it. I'd be amused to hear it. And I am very good at detecting whether people are lying.
The thing is, Trev, people have also called me out before as well, a couple of years ago about this. And I always thought, well, the thing is, right, like, I've actually got pictures of myself when I'm younger.
No, you don't have to prove it, because the way you talk is all the evidence we need. The fact that you started a channel, which a lot of people want to do, the guys who slag us off in comments from the cheap seats, they all wish they had a channel. They all want a channel. A lot of them want a channel, but they just can't be arsed. And so they get...
I think James... I think Roy supports Chelsea. I think he does. I think he would support Chelsea. Yeah. But Boovy, I thought...
he was in EastEnders for 3 episodes and didn't get renewed.
And also Doctor Who as well, by the way. He was also in Doctor Who. He? Yeah.
So he's a drama kid.
He was in David Tennant's first series as a Doctor, and I was like,
all right.
I was like, wait, hold on, I know who he is. Wait, what? Rory Jennings is Doctor? Wait, what? I was like, yeah.
But you see in the comments, people who genuinely add to it, like Steve, like Kathy. We all know the names. Yeah. Magnus, all of these guys, we love their comments. But the ones who just immediately get into comments and start being negative about the hosts, start your own channel then. Go on. Off you go.
I know, the Idiot's Lantern. That's what it's called. It's like, that's on the nose, that is.
The Idiot's Lantern. That's the old nickname for the telly. I think one of my great uncles used to refer to the TV as the Idiot's Lantern. But then again, he was evacuated from Dunkirk and re-invaded on D-Day. So he had a rather realistic, cynical view of the world. Uncle Bill, great Uncle Bill, absolute fucking legend. Idiot's Lantern, what are you doing watching? You never watched the telly. You read the newspapers. But yeah, refer to the telly as the Idiot's Lantern. Look at you all, hypnotised. I've seen
That's
men with the legs blown off. That's
yeah.
entertainment. I don't know. I don't think that's what he meant, but
Maureen Lipman, yeah, the TV one, yeah. Oh, that was it, yeah, Maureen Lipman, because obviously she was because I'm not, if you actually want to watch it, I'm not sure. I'm sure you can find it on street or service. She played the Queen because it was an episode about the coronation in the '60s.
oh, right,
Yeah,
right.
and it was the first time it did obviously TVs. In the '60s, obviously, as
Yeah,
a thing because and obviously my nan told me about that when it came in. She told me about that actually about a few years ago, and yeah, no, it's because I always find it interesting because again, you see all the stuff. They've got massive widescreen TVs now on your iPads and phones. Yeah, that's
yeah.
all small little box with a little screen. That was the first time. That was revolutionary. It's crazy.
The only time I ever wanted to call into talk sport was they did something about the Champions League and who you should be supporting and should you support any English team. And the point I wanted to make was that we didn't have live football. We had a few games a year, right? So we had the League Cup and the FA Cup that were live. That was it. That was the only live football until Sky, so the only live football you had access to. So we had Match of the Day, which everyone watched religiously. We had the ITV version. Elton Wellesby used to host that. It was brilliant. Um, and then, but we got Italian football live before we got Premier League football live in 1992. Football Italia started. We got those games live. Everyone watched that, because it was live football. It was like, it was a thing. It was unique, But we watched it. I remember watching Nottingham Forest win the Champions League or the European Cup as it was then. It was a Mr. Bean scenario. I had a black and white because my mum and my granny who raised me weren't into football, and I didn't have a dad. So I had a black and white telly in my bedroom with an aerial that you had to move, and that's how I watched Nottingham Forest win 2 European Cups
Oh
with John
yes,
Robertson on the left wing.
Brian
But
Clough. Brian Clough.
you
Yeah.
literally had to hold this aerial and put your body in weird shapes. Otherwise, it was like watching a game in the snow. I thought all European games were played in the snow anyway, and were slightly out of focus. So, and this is, I'm not being nostalgic for it. I don't miss it. I love being able to pick my phone up in a taxi and watch a game. I love that, But yeah, these were special moments. These are in the memory bank,
Yeah.
and you don't understand the embarrassment of riches that you have. And I think that's brilliant. I don't want you to ever have gone through that. I'm so happy that you've got massive tellies and everything's live, every game's live. If it's not on Sky or the subscription channel, you can find it on a dodgy channel or a
Satellite
Fire
dish,
Stick
yeah.
or whatever.
My mum and dad had that. Had that in 1780s, yeah. Satellite dish, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, well, I remember growing up watching VHS tapes as a kid,
yeah,
all the cartoons and that. So I still remember the stuff for even now. Like I still like doing it every now and again, like getting the player out, dusting it off, put them in there. The crackly TV, play it, boom,
yeah,
play. Yeah,
yeah.
see, I remember that 'cause even though obviously I've grown up all the stuff that I've got now, I still appreciate the stuff that I've
Yeah,
sort
but
of.
it is so much better now. You see, this is the difference between me and some people of my peer group, if you like, who talk about things as though they were all better. No, they weren't. They
They
just
weren't.
weren't.
No.
They just weren't. And I've been involved in technology. I made my first website in 1998, which eventually became my business and my job. So I recently, this year, at the grand old age of 62, I built an AI robot. Built one. You know, so and I built a robot to do one specific job, uh, and that was to see if I could automate aggregation of football news. And so because of Twitter's, this is a bit technical, but never mind, it's interesting. Because of Twitter's API, it's very hard to go in and analyze from the back end any Twitter account. Okay,
Yeah.
but what you can do is build a robot that acts like a human being and scrolls through, but will also catch data, and scrape the data for you. And then you can interrogate that data with questions. So I built a robot just to see if that was, and then once I'd achieved that, it was slow, but never mind. But once I did that, I gave it another task. I said, okay, I want you to go to City Extra, gave it City Extra's account, and constantly monitor it for a breaking news, right? And then I want you to take it, reword it, and post it to a Twitter account. It did. It
Wow.
did. So you could, within 10 seconds, 10 or 15 seconds, if I paid more for the AI, I could probably do it quicker. But within 10 or 15 seconds, you could be publishing exactly what City Extra publish within 10 or 15 seconds,
That's crazy.
right? But even worse than that, right? And this should frighten anybody who's running an aggregate account. You could do 500 of those,
Yeah, that is crazy.
and it wouldn't be plagiarism. You'd just be taking a post that went out, and 15 seconds later, 500 robots have put the same thing out, slightly reworded. So it's not plagiarism, it's not stealing content. All doable, bypassing the Twitter API. It's going to happen. It's not me, I couldn't be asked, but somebody's going to do that. And then all the aggregators are in the shit. Because it's literally within 15 seconds means nothing online. And so the people who are now first might not be the first to be found.
Yeah. Oh, mate,
It's a legit threat.
the season reviews. See, do you know what, right? I actually used to get a couple of DVDs and that when they came out. Do you know what I want them to do, right? Give us the fans the job of doing that. Do you know what? I'll do the season review for you. I'll just put myself around him. So in March, we do. This happened. You can a lot of funny memes that relate to the time. I'll do it easily do that for a couple of hours. That'll be a lot of fun actually because I'm getting more into editing recently. I'm sort of really trying to improve myself on that and also the
Oh,
button
okay. I
as
do. I
well.
do a lot of it. Yeah.
See, obviously, because I love to be able to do like a proper like city style, like because obviously City do, but like a proper YouTube style, like the Mancini to Pep era kind of like your documentary, like sort of go around the
Yeah.
stadium, record myself, and just explain certain bits, like and maybe like the statue,
Yeah.
and certain goal because. As maybe people who are growing up now with City fans now, like again in my city now, there's a lot of kids who are going to be growing up City fans now, growing up as the kids now, and it was just me and a mate of mine about
Yeah.
15 years ago.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for them on YouTube, if I can be that person for them, and they can watch and I can get them into
Right.
it, then I love to do that because
The cost of entry to doing professionally produced stuff is never been lower.
yeah,
So DaVinci Resolve is the editing software you need to get into
yeah,
because the community around it is fantastic. The free levels of plugins that you can get for it are off the scale. It wasn't a learning curve for me because I've been using computers to record music since the Atari days. So it's all non-linear editing. So it wasn't a new skill set for me to learn video editing.
yeah,
To get good at it just takes practice. So the barrier to entry is you can get the free version of DaVinci Resolve, which is fully featured. You can't fail, right? The software is no longer an excuse. And the second thing is the Osmo Pocket 3.
yeah,
I've owned really expensive DSLR cameras, right? And incredible microphone. I've still got incredible microphones because it's a fetish. But the thing is that this thing here, the DJI Mic 2, not the latest version, the last one, the
yeah.
bigger one, is the only thing I will use other than my Neumann for serious work. Right? It's that good. It matched the hype, and none of the others did, and I tried them all. I was able to have all the competitors in one place for 2 days and just did different scenarios of recording with them. And
Yeah.
this one beat the crap out of all of them. And now, because they've released the Osmo Pocket 4, which has just got marginal differences,
Yeah.
it's really not worth buying. these have dropped in price to 250 quid. You can get the creator set, which includes one of these mics,
Oh, wow, okay.
for 299 quid. And secondhand, I've seen them going for 180, 190.
Because
If you want to up your production game,
yeah,
get an Osmo Pocket 3, and now is the time to buy them with a DJI Mic 2,
because
the original one.
I'll tell you guys now, because in November I'm going to be going to Milan to watch Inter Milan play against Como. That's the game I'm going to be going
Right.
to. And I'm going because Stones plays for them now. I want to do
Yeah.
I want to start doing like European trips like that to football games, so
Right.
I can do it
Well,
from
this can be handheld.
yeah.
It's got great battery life. It does a contingency recording on the mic itself. If you hit the red button, you're getting a recording of the audio straight into the mic. In case anything happens to the mics on the camera, you can use it with an invisible selfie. It's just brilliant. And as you can see, it's got head tracking that just works. And it's just a slow, there's no learning curve involved in it, especially if you use it like I'm using it now as a webcam. It's just plug and play. Hit the webcam button and double click on your face, and it's tracking your face. You know,
Yeah, no, yeah,
it's
because
just a brilliant bit of kit.
well, I'm gonna do it because I want to start like because I want to do again for this channel as well. We're seeing a city channel, but I want to sort of bring more stuff to it, so it's more related to it. Because also, I'm not gonna do. I don't do vlogs. Like for me, I find match day vlogs a bit too like it's not really right. Like I'll record the atmospheres of the game like beforehand because that's something that's quite cool. I like to record like the start before the game starts, so I can get the atmosphere around the ground kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then I don't. Then after that,
Martin said he couldn't do it because he'd get done under the obscenity laws.
fucking shit. I've heard him swear about the game.
He couldn't do it.
Jesus.
He couldn't do it after the game. He'd just be too angry.
Yeah. Well, no, it's what I mean. Like, there's so much, like, there's so much you can do now with stuff like that. Where you can create your own content and stuff like that, and and so much you can do. And I think as well, like, that kind of experience as well of doing that gets you obviously more jobs as well in the field you want to do as well, for like media as well. So that's probably what I'm willing to do. But it's just again, it's just for me. I don't want to spend cheap as well. I want to make sure that I'm getting not expensive, but the right equipment for the right price, and also
This is 4K. It does everything that my expensive DSLRs did. I had DSLRs that cost almost 2,000 quid.
Yeah.
And this does everything that they do, but so much easier. And I have no snobbery in using auto modes for various things because it just works. But it does the actual proper formatting where you can apply the right filters, so it looks shit when you're recording it. Basically looks like black and white. But I forget the name of it now. But this is the pro format. This is pro movie standard format. It records in that if you want it to.
Cool,
so there's no limit. There's no limitations built into it. It's just the real thing. It is the real thing. Everyone should have one. Who wants to make content? Because it just ups your game.
Yeah. Do you know what? Send me the actual link right on X, right? And I'll obviously in DMs or something, or I'll give my WhatsApp, whatever. We can sort of put over that.
And the light I use is okay. It's a proper studio light on a C stand. The C stand costs more than the light.
Yeah.
But you just put it on that Rembrandt thing where I don't have it on a full Rembrandt where you get one side, but all the background's darker. Sometimes I put a light on at the back there. It just ups your game instantly, and that's 120 quid.
Wow.
That light. Don't use ring cameras. They're bobbins because you can see the ring in people's eyes. So don't use those. Oh, these are great. These are little block lights. This is the one I put up at the back.
Big up Tariq in the chat. Big up Tariq. I'll be doing good, my friend. Big up,
20 quid. 20 quid.
20 quid.
Any colour you want.
Amazing.
And look at that. Straight away in the background's already blue.
That's brilliant. Yeah.
Powerful.
Yeah.
So the cost of entry to doing good quality, well produced stuff has never been cheaper.
Oh, 100%. I think now it's about having imagination. So it's having that imagination, having that, because I would say it's easier to get the stuff, but it's about having the imagination and the and the understanding to sort of do the right stuff that's going to get it out there.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I've sort of developed myself over the years of like learning different things. So that's probably what I'm going to do
Well,
anyway.
the World Cup thing we did together was good. You know.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Because thing is, Trev, I was thinking about it as well. I think because you and me actually do get to do well in this kind of shows because we're both,
Yeah.
different areas of the sport, but we both have a good sense of humour and a good laugh about football. I mean, that's quite nice to have. And
Yeah.
look, I was going to chat to you about, but it'd be good to sort of do a consistent show like that kind of thing where we sort of talk football
Right.
because you know what I mean. Someone like that is good because you've got someone who different points of view, but like you're not like always competing. You have a good chat about football and you're from different.
Yeah.
And on YouTube, you need more of that. You haven't really got that.
Yeah.
In the fan base, obviously, Martin does some great content, obviously for older fans as well. And it's brilliant stuff. I'm not just saying because he's a mate. I've watched his stuff even before I knew him properly as a mate, and I really enjoyed it and watched it. But you haven't really got that crossover in terms of like a fan who maybe my age who's like hasn't seen the older times but has appreciated the mid-table towards the time. So you've got different points of view on different things. I think that's good to have. So in the chat, guys, if you want to see me and Trev do more stuff like this, again, we'll have to work out timing, obviously, whatever, but we'll do that. But if you want to see us do more of this, please let us know because it'd be good to sort of do a show like that where we sort of just have a chat about. Because again, when 115 comes out, we will, trust me, there'll be a lot of shows that come out at that time with City. But I will say
24/7 rolling news.
Yeah,
and it's just us rinsing cunts.
But I will save a show for me and Trev to do where we'll talk about that properly in depth on the journalism side of it. Because that'll be very good to do.
I'm in.
Cool. Fantastic. But no, honestly, it's been good, Trev. It's been good to have a chat to you about like transfer-wise. It's been quite quiet. I mean, I know it's the whole point of the stream, but again,
I'm just over it. I'm over it. I'm so over it.
Look, Buani, I'm excited for because I like him as a player, but I'm like, I just don't care anymore. I just want to get on with the actual games.
Correct.
Because the thing is, right, like it's just the news at the moment is just the same stuff regurgitated out and recycled out. There's not actually any proper news per se. That's probably why Alf, he's Belgian, he's a City fan himself. I do content with myself. He hasn't done a lot because it's been not lots come out. It's not news, is it? It's not much news.
It's just not. It's just noise.
It's the same stuff like a week ago. I heard already. Like, you know what I mean? It's
because there isn't enough news to meet the demand for news.
Do you know what, Alf? You're probably right, mate. That's a psychosis.
It is. But it's also psychologically, it's part of how rivals have coped with the shitness of their own clubs. It's the excuse they all use for being shit. See, we never had an excuse for being shit. We were shit. Yeah. We were absolutely shit.
Absolutely.
We were a joke. We were so funny that we laughed at ourselves more than rivals did. Because we were shit. And we couldn't blame it on anybody. But they have 115. It's the panacea for all their ills. It's the excuse they need to understand why they're shit. They're shit because they're shit. United are shit because the owners are shit.
Yeah.
You know, and it's dawning on some of them now. And that's true of quite a lot of other clubs, especially clubs with American owners who have a different business model in mind, where actually profitable mediocrity is fine as long as it's profitable, as long as the asset value keeps increasing, which it does, and people keep turning up every week and buying the merch because they do, and because the TV share is enough, then glory is optional when that's your business model. It's not because they're American, it's just a different way to look at the business of football, and it's always been a business. However, there's a difference between that approach and how other owners, specifically our owners, who are fully invested in the glory because they're already squillionaires. So what appeals to them? What excites them? Well, it's not another yacht or another house. Money has lost all utility to these people. What they seek is what's rare and difficult to obtain and only exist fleetingly. Mm-hmm. And, you know, a Champions League is that. I came up with this argument when I was trying to defend Marinakis over the Anderson sale when
Yeah.
people were calling him a gangster and a mafia guy. No, no, no. He's so rich that you can't imagine it. And you can't imagine what excites him. And what excites him is an entire city loving something he did.
Yeah.
Because you can't buy that. You can't go to you can go to a yacht shop and design your own yacht, right? Every single day. Or buy the most expensive car, or have a car invented for you when you've got that kind of money, right? But what you can't do is have an entire city take to the streets and celebrate the team that you own and bask in that glory. You can't buy that anywhere. And that's why very rich people love getting involved in football clubs, because of the rarity of the glory.
Yeah.
Glory is massive to
Yeah.
these people, you know. And American owners are far more practical than that.
Yeah.
They're like, I can't believe this. It doesn't matter if we don't win anything. These people will turn up every week and buy the merch, and we still get the same share of the TV money.
Yeah.
Dig in.
Exactly. Yeah.
Dig in. You know.
Well, Tariq, I appreciate obviously but people want to see me and Trev do more shows like this, and I'll happily do so again. Trev does a lot of great stuff on Mancunian way as well. It's not taken away from him. It's more for like, it might do it like every 2 weeks or something like that. Because again, it's not always easy.
No, we have a good chemistry.
Yeah, we do, and it's something that we sort of found when we sort of went on Martin shows and that. It's
and the World Cup thing was funny. Well, we thought it was funny. I don't know whether everybody else did. Got quite decent views.
People eventually said they enjoyed it, so if they want to see more, well,
yeah,
we'll try and do again. Problem is, content like that. Well, if you want to see us do a Premier League one, smash the likes. If people want to see more of that, again, it has to obviously be in their own time, because you can't rush something like that. It's got to be given time to do so. But
and I'm moving countries, in August this month, next week, in 6 days. Fucking hell.
Well, also, Trev, as well, if people want to see as well, because obviously I'm going to go to games, so I'll probably see you as well in person as well, which is very good.
I'm wearing a beard for the Bournemouth game. I don't want to be,
hold on.
This guy. Aren't you that wanker? Yeah, no. Because Martin gets it. Martin gets autograph hunted.
Yeah, well, I don't. I'm like, good. If you've got a prick, thank you. You're going to be on my day. Thank you very much.
Your chance to tell me that I'm a dick live. v Bournemouth. I'll be in seat.
It's called The Shit Show. I mean, that'd be a great show name. The Shit Show.
I'll tell you a story. After the tsunami, I was flown back to the UK for a debriefing by because I set up this thing within hours of the tsunami hitting, because I lived in Phuket at the time. There's a BBC documentary all about it and stuff like that. And so the Home Office paid for me to fly back to England so I could be debriefed on the solutions that we found and what worked, what didn't work. It was very good. And so our kid wrote to the club and said, because he's a season ticket holder, and he said, look, my brother's coming over. He was in this BBC documentary. There's any chance of a ticket? And they sent us two tickets, just like that, instant. Yeah, no problem. We saw a documentary, blah, blah, blah. Yep. So we got these 2 tickets. So we sat down. The lad behind me started telling jokes that always happen at tragic times. So this is about a month after the tsunami, and he went, yeah, my mate had a bar in that Phuket. He said it's been a bit quiet for a month, but now all these old customers are starting to drift back in, right? And then one of his mates, our kid saw it because I was looking forward. One of his mates tapped him on the shoulder and went, "That's that nurse." And he went, he looked, and he went, "You're that nurse, aren't you?" I went, "What nurse is that?" He said, "The one that was in the tsunami." I went, "Yeah." He went, "I'm sorry, mate. I'm really sorry. I didn't mean it. It's just, I said, "Look, these kind of jokes are the way that people cope with these things. It's fine. I'm not offended. You didn't live through it. I did." So, but yeah, I mean, I reckon he still gets embarrassed about that. Even 21 years later, he's still like, "Do you remember when I did that tsunami joke in front of the tsunami nurse? Fucking hell."
Oh, bloody hell, mate. Anyway, you know what? 3 hours we're going for. It's been a great,
Right.
it's been a great show. Again, if you want to see us do more of this, please obviously leave a comment and like on the stage, as you usually do. Again, we're almost on 30 likes. If you get us there, be much appreciated as always. Again, it isn't always you have to do it, but if you want to help support the channel, I do appreciate it. So I do stuff when I can. It's not my job. I've got a day job, sadly, so I've got to earn the bills that way rather than sort of reading through this. But if you want to see more of this stuff, please let me know, and I'll try and
And
get.
thanks to all the regulars in the comments, by the way. Magnus and Steve
Oh yeah,
and Terry. It's always great to. I can't read everything you write, but you're always bang on, lads, and
yeah.
that is all good stuff.
Do you know what as well, right, Trevor? I will also get Alf on us because Alf's a fan from. So he's from Belgium, but his family
Right,
also City. So
right.
what I'll do, I'll get him on next time with us. So obviously if he's free as
Cheers,
well,
off.
and
Yeah,
because his perspective of things, he treats because obviously he's from Brugge, so obviously he's a Club Brugge fan also, but he's City because it's the family kind of thing.
yeah.
So he sees things a bit differently, but it's good because it's not the same but as you see online. It's a bit more to the point, which is quite good. So
I got a soft spot for Belgium. It's the first foreign country I went to. First time I left England, I went to Brussels on a
I just
campaign for
fine.
nuclear disarmament rally, CND rally. I got water cannoned.
I know Alf, day jobs, Alf. We got the money somehow. But no, as I say, Trav, appreciate all the time.
Oh, thanks for having me on. Yeah,
It's
thanks for having me on.
I would I say, do you know what? Actually, I think it's the first time I've actually had you on the channel. I think properly on the channel actually.
Yeah, I watch and comment, but it's the first time I've been on. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I just thought, you know what, get you on, have a good chat. Get everyone involved in the chat. Yeah, and it's good because with right of the world, the wrongs of the world, we had a good chat about City and all different contexts. That's beauty of, to me. That's the beauty of YouTube and its community. Yes, negativity, but we all just wanted to talk football and talk City. It's that what it would be. Look, leave that being over dramatic, right? Look, if you have an opinion, that's fine. Again, sometimes I'm a bit negative because it's been a negative result, but we're human beings, and that's the beauty of talking about football. Yeah, that's how it should be. So,
Did you hear about my plan? I'm still waiting to hear back from the hotel. That if we could get enough super chats in, we could actually book a hotel room at the City Hotel at the Etihad, and do a post-match show from there, like within minutes of the game finishing.
Post-match show in the City Hotel.
Yeah.
I'll be back in the hotel.
No, but I think that'd be brilliant.
Yeah, the thumbnail.
I don't know.
In the hotel.
Yeah. There's a minibar.
We get pissed up at minibar City stream.
That'd take a lot of super chats, though. The price they charge for minibars.
Beats Man United 5-0 on the piss. On the piss stream.
I think if you had the hotel room, right, you could do a pre-match show and then saunter off to your seat. You wouldn't come back at half time. Couldn't be arsed with that. But a full time within 5 minutes. Martin said, "Oh, there's all kinds of legal stuff and blah blah blah," which is right if you're in the ground or if you're somewhere that's showing the players warming down. But I reckon there'll be rooms in that hotel that look out onto the concourse or look out, with just a bit of the stadium in it, and you book that for every home game, and then do a live from there. I think that's compelling. But none of us can afford it, so we need the super chats.
Hey, if on the lottery, I get two
I'll have a suite.
Yeah,
I'll have a suite.
Set up with the lights in the chat, and we'll just do a show.
Yeah, the camera crew.
City 5 United 0. Beat Madrid 5-0. Alcohol. Get the champagne. Right, let's go.
Lottery dreams of a City fan.
That would be one of those hilarious shows on City YouTube. It would be. It would be unbelievable. That's what it would be.
And people who are angry at what you're saying, banging on the hotel door.
Stop saying that, Russian shit. I can't hear you.
James Trafford should have stayed.
What the guy? Yeah. We're joking,
All right, mate,
chat. We're joking, chat. It's fine.
Yeah, stop
We're
it.
joking. It's all
Where is Ron Jeremy? How did he get mentioned? I missed that thread.
Oh well, there's a guy that I know who loves Ron Jeremy, apparently called him Steve.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. We've had Ron Jeremy mentioned, Jazz Mags. It's all good stuff.
This chat, by the way, is this is why I love Huff Captain and Steve.
Elite.
They just say what any old shit. It's like just crack on, man.
It's absolutely elite chat.
Oh, anyway,
I got to go and feed the hounds, the idiots as I call them.
Yeah. But look, big up chat for tuning in. Big up Trev for tuning as well. But 3 hours of great City content to bring to you as always. We'll try and do more as when we can, obviously. And to be fair, with me in stream right now, I'm probably going to. If there's transfer news, I will do a transfer. This is more of a bit of a fun one. Like, I'm not good. If there's actual news that comes out regarding transfer, I will talk about it. But I'm not going to do any old crap. Like, should people want to do that, that's up to them. But for me, I don't see the point of doing it when there's no news right now. If Buardi is announced, sure, I'll be there. We'll chat Buardi. But until then, I'll talk about the games and that's it. Because honestly, at the moment, like, I'm not going to be sat here wondering what will happen next because everyone's doing that anyway. It's just point. I was just bored otherwise. So yeah. So anyway, this stream will be over to LB. LB is doing a show with Tariq just right now,
Nice.
a late night chat. So go over there and give. Well, to be fair, LB's got lunch club anyway, so I imagine you guys are over there anyway. But if you want to go over there and watch his stuff, watch his content, go over there and support the guys. Until then, guys, take care. See you guys soon. Much likes, all that jazz, all the good YouTube stuff that you guys like to do. And we'll see you guys soon for more streams and more content and more great, wonderful jokes and banter to come over the season. Till then, guys, take care.
Ta-ra.
Peace.